Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into morning stream. Hello. How are we doing? Hopefully well. Hopefully well. Good morning. Good morning. What's up, Alina? Send that guest request when you're ready, Alina. You know how we do. Welcome to morning discussion stream. Welcome to our morning discussion stream, where we're going to openly discuss a handful of topics. I actually have to change what the topics are on this. They're the wrong topics over here. I'm not on TikTok. TikTok, they're correct. Welcome in. We got Alina in this chat. We got Alina here. Good morning, Alina.
What's up?
How are you? How are you doing?
You have
this
your
morning?
Yoo-hoo?
No, I don't have any Yoo-hoo today. I have water. I'm on a health.
You guys, we didn't hit the goal. We didn't hit the goal yesterday, so now he doesn't have any Yoo-hoo.
Yeah, that's the reason. Alina should sound sleepy. It's 8 a.m. We're all sleepy.
Yeah.
How was I didn't go live again yesterday because I got distracted. How was the rest of the day?
A whole bunch of fuckery.
Makes total sense.
Mm-hmm. I think we were live until like after 10. I was like, why didn't anyone tell me it was 10 o'clock? Like,
do you mind being in charge of the guest requests, or do you want me to be?
no, I could do it.
Okay.
I thought I was going to lose my privileges after yesterday.
What happened yesterday?
Just me being an authoritarian.
Oh.
Thank you, Boo.
If you guys take a look, we do have a tip goal for today's live, so feel free, Cash App and Venmo are in bio. As well as, I just want to say, get those likes up, get those shares up. We also have a live gift goal, so if you want to hit that gift goal. Once we hit 5K likes, we'll start bringing in guests. Unless Alina wants to do it now. It's up to Alina. I need to get my iPad.
5K likes.
5K likes, baby.
That's nothing.
That sounds like a lot of things, TBH.
Ooh.
Ugh. 5K likes and we'll start bringing in guests. Crazy.
We're almost there. We're halfway there.
Yeah. It's been a morning already. Hey, thank you for the gifted subs over on Twitch. Who's that? That was from Sersha. Thank you, Sersha. Can we get W Sersha in the chat?
You guys don't have to do that over here.
We have to do that everywhere, bro.
She doesn't even go here.
Sersha is a Twitch baddie.
I know.
We love our Twitch baddies. What you mean?
All right, we're almost at 5K likes. Look at that. Look how quickly they're tapping. So proud of you guys.
They hit it. Let's go over some of the topics we have today really quickly. First and foremost, conservatives are anti-LGBTQIA+. They do not care about queer people at all. Secondly, minors deserve gender-affirming care. And third, trans men and women are men and women. Franz, however it's pronounced. Franz, do you disagree with the topics on the board?
I disagree. Sorry, I just joined in and instantly requested. Just want to read them real quick. Went over them. I agree with some of them. I disagree with others.
Okay. Oh my God, not low life. Go ahead.
I don't know who that is, but
a really bad debater.
Oh, well, I mean, slim pickings this morning. All right, Franz, what's your take?
Okay, I agree with your third claim. I don't really agree with your second claim, and your first claim I agree with mostly.
Why don't you agree with the second claim?
Well, to what extent are you saying? I mean, like, go into more depth so I can get a stronger opinion there.
There would be no more death. Minors deserve gender affirming care. That care would be individualized per the person. I can't make any claims about the type of care. It's an individualized set of care.
Okay. So then I can't really make a claim as to.
Well, you said you
I think
disagree. So do you disagree that minors deserve gender affirming care?
Well, if it's simple, absolutely, sure, they deserve some.
I think the point is that neither you nor I nor Jovan are medical professionals. So,
Actually, I am, but
okay, what's your field?
Pharmaceutical industry, pharmacy.
Okay, so you're not in gender affirming care. You're not a psychologist or psychiatrist. So you're not actually in this field that I'm talking about. So,
I mean,
like, you wouldn't be the one making the decision.
Okay.
So maybe we should let the people that are speaking with the patient make the decisions for the patient, right?
Well, in the pharmacy industry, we do, at clinical pharmacy especially, we do just as much, psychology work, working, individually with people, talking to them on a day-to-day basis about what they're taking, about what's going on with their bodies, than a lot of other people. Certainly more so than doctors.
But you don't do prescribing.
Pharmacists can prescribe. Clinical pharmacists can absolutely prescribe medication to people. It's a bit of a new side of things in the last 5-10 years, but absolutely can prescribe medicine.
Wait, just so that I'm aware, do you think children under the age of 18 should be able to receive gender affirming care?
I think so. I don't believe they should be able to have anything that will actually affect their bodies. I believe that they should absolutely be offered counseling.
I'm sorry, really quickly. When it comes to medical treatment, would you hold this standard for everything, or is this very specific to gender affirming care? Are you just special pleading for this one thing?
I mean, there's a lot of things that I disagree with that are out there, but
So you're not advocating against those.
Well, it depends if they actually physically need them to survive or not, of course.
Jovan, what's the rate of children that unalive due to lack of gender affirming care?
It's around 40%.
Rate. Yeah. It sounds like they need it to survive.
Why don't you just be specific and not vague? What forms of gender affirming care do you disagree with, and give a why?
I personally disagree with hormone blockers.
Why?
Because I believe that it's such a massive change to your body.
How is blocking hormones the change? Blocking hormones, you would just continue the way your body was before starting puberty.
That's the point of hormones. They change your body.
No, hormone blockers, how would they change your body?
Because they would prevent changes that hormones have.
So wait, they change your body by preventing changes?
That would be a change, yeah. Your body would
not
naturally...
be a change. No, your body, they're preventing a change. Preventing a change. Well, no, it's very specific. Preventing a change is not changing. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Yo, what you're trying to say is basically if you take a 16-year-old.
No one was talking to you, Lowlife. You weren't being talked to yet.
Oh, you might be thinking, hold on.
You weren't being talked to yet, Lowlife. Franz, can you explain how you change something by not changing something?
Well, in theory, if your body is running a natural process. Okay, let's take this example. Let's use a highway. Great example for your blood, right? If you're driving along and all of a sudden, this isn't really a great example because obviously this is not where hormones are blocked, but just in theory, it's the same thing. Okay, sure. Let's say the house is activating the hormone. You're going to leave the house, right? But before you can leave your house out of your garage, a block completely just covers your entire garage door, and no longer can you make your natural process of heading to work in the morning.
No, this wouldn't
It's
work
a change.
because wait, just really quickly, this wouldn't work because the analogy would have to be that you've never left your house for work at all yet. You've never been to work.
Franz-
You've never gone to work, so nothing has changed. You still are in a state of not going to work.
Slowly over time, over long periods of time, depending
Yes,
on which
but
hormones
is
we're
puberty?
referring to.
But have you started puberty yet? When you're on pubertal suppression, no, you haven't gone through the puberty process, so you can't say that the puberty process is like halted. It's just never begun. It's suppressed. The process is. Go ahead, Summer.
Franz, why do you guys always forget to put the register rewards in the bag? That's what I want to know.
What?
So Franz, you're a pharmacist?
Sure am. Clinical. I think a lot of people are mistaking the fact that there's a lot more pharmacists out there than people that work at CVS, Walgreens, or grocery stores.
So what's the most prescribed testosterone blocker to trans women?
Sorry?
What's the most prescribed testosterone blocker to trans women?
Sorry, I work in a pharmacy that is mainly dealing with endo, and more or less we work with diabetics 95% of the time. Honestly, could not answer your question without searching the answer, so I don't want to give you a bad answer to that. This is just not something that I interact with very often.
I literally have it in my hands right now, actually.
It's great.
You're not a pharmacist.
Okay.
And if he is a pharmacist, he's working out of his scope of practice, which is bad news for a license.
Wait, so really quickly, I just want to.
If you're a pharmacist, that's actually like demonstrably one of the easiest questions that you can be asked is in regards to transgender affirming care. It's spironolactone.
It's great. Not something I work with. I don't want to spread misinformation, so that would be terrible.
So really quickly, because I just want to focus up on this. I just really want to hear what you're against pubertal suppressants. I want to know what material harm pubertal suppressants cause, and if they outweigh the benefits of the use.
I have a great example, if I could speak.
Not yet. Not until I say so.
3v1ing is crazy.
I do not care. Go ahead, Franz.
Cook. Let him cook. Let him get one answer in. Not going to hurt no one.
He'll talk when he's spoken to. He knows who he is. He knows what he's done. Go ahead, Franz. Can you lay out to me the material harm in pubertal suppressants? We teacupping?
I have an example.
Sure, low life. Now you can speak.
Yeah, I mean, if you take a 16-year-old who takes these drugs,
16-year-olds wouldn't take pubertal suppressants next.
At what age are they okay to take that?
Pubertal suppressions happen when you go through Tanner stage 2, which would be anywhere between 10 and 12, because you would need to take them before starting puberty. A 16-year-old would have already started puberty, so pubertal suppressants would have no effect for them.
But that does not help your case, but we'll use your
And
numbers.
the Walgreens cashier is gone.
Well, it's not that it helps my case. It just kind of indicates that you don't know what you're talking about to start with. But go ahead. What's the material harm caused by pubertal suppressants? And show me how that material harm outweighs the benefits.
Yeah, I mean, if you took a 12-year-old who took these drugs...
I don't want hypotheticals. I want actual data. Do you have actual data on the material harm? Or are you just going to give an anecdote?
12-year-olds that do this.
Okay, you're just going to give an anecdote. Got it. Go ahead. Go ahead with your anecdote.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
I'll just drop down here because I have to go to work. But I'm glad I made that easy for you guys.
Nice meeting
Summer.
Bye, Summer. Thank you.
Go ahead, low life. Go ahead with your anecdote. Go ahead.
Yeah. If you took a 12-year-old who've got on these drugs, you're at least putting a pause on them for 5 years. And let's say they decide,
Incorrect.
okay, I don't want to take these drugs anymore. Well, at a minimum, you're going to have 5 years behind their growth and
Incorrect.
development. Like at a minimum, you're going to have stunted growth, and you're going to have someone who's behind their physical
Incorrect.
development.
Incorrect. Let's go over the actual facts.
Would you like me
First
to
of
pull
all,
the source
let's go
for
over
this?
the actual facts. First of
Many
all,
cases of
somebody
that
who is on pubertal suppressants for gender affirming care is usually on those pubertal suppressants for 12 to 24 months, not 5 years. I don't know where you're getting 5 years. It's not 5 years. It's typically 12 to 24 months. Second of all, you didn't engage in any stats or anything. You said, well, they'll have stunted growth. Show me the evidence of this. Show me the statistical significance of stunted growth. Show me something. Don't just say, well, I believe that blah, blah, blah. Trust me, bro. I don't do trust me bros here. Give me actual data.
The data's called, the drug is actually called Lupron. I don't know if it's
Lupron
the same
Depot
drug
PED.
you're
Yep, I know about
talking
Lupron
but
Depot PED. I've read all the
100%
clinical
stunts-
trials. Yeah. Go ahead.
100% stunts people's growth. It's the point of blocking your hormone.
No,
Literally
blocking puberty
making
doesn't
it
stunt
grow.
your growth. Next.
It does pauses it. And at a minimum, if you pause it for 5 years,
See,
you will be behind 5 years.
Yeah, this is why you're disingenuous. So again, when you're on it for gender affirming care, how long are you, when you're on puberty blockers for gender affirming care, how long are you on them? Give me the time frame.
Yeah, you were saying 24 months.
12 to 24
But
months.
clients can 100% go in and get long-term
What is the average?
puberty blockers.
What is the average?
What does the average matter if people are getting it long-term?
The
It's
average
stunting
matters
the
because
growth.
that's when most people are using it for.
But
That's
we're
why the
talking about
average
stunted
matters.
growth.
Prove to me that it stunts growth.
Well, Lupron is also used to chemically castrate, smack the
Where's that?
fingers.
Where's that on stunting growth? Don't
This is something
don't
you do to
pivot. Don't
children
pivot, low
to
life.
castrate
Prove
them.
to me that it stunts growth. You instantly folded when I asked you one question. Prove to
Literally
me that it
asked
stunts
How
growth.
does this affect society? I gave
Nope.
you another point. and
You
you're
said
mad.
it
You're
stunts
crashing
growth.
out.
Prove
Calm
to me that it
down.
stunts growth. Prove to me that it stunts growth right now. That's all I want you to do.
Oh,
Show
and
me the
Alina,
evidence of stunted growth. Don't talk to Alina.
Calm down.
Don't talk to
I'm
Alina.
answering the
You have
question. Calm
one.
down.
You have one chance. I don't talk
Why
to
are you
Alina.
crashing out?
Don't talk about anything else. Prove to me that it stunts growth. That's the only thing I want to hear from you right now. Go ahead.
Yeah. One of the drugs used with puberty blockers is called Lupron and has been used to chemically castrate.
Didn't prove that it stunts growth. Thanks. You failed.
The same drug.
That's not stunting
used-
growth.
Yes,
I want to
it
hear
does. At a
stunting
minimum,
growth.
if you're putting
That's
a
not stunting
12-year-old
growth. Next. That's not stunting growth. Where's the proof that it stunts growth?
Well, how are conservators anti-LGBT?
I'm not pivoting from
No, we're
this.
not- no,
You
we're
can
not
try.
moving on.
You can try to pivot the conversation as much as you want because you said something that is not true and you have nothing to back it up. So prove to me that it stunts growth. That's all I want to hear. Or a concession of you going, I was wrong. Those are the only two things I want to hear right now.
Dude is so angry.
Either prove it
Should
or
we
leave.
back-
This is it. Prove it or leave. Prove it or leave.
Congress.gov. Yeah, Congress.gov. Calm down. Put me on the big screen. Little whiny baby.
Tell me
No, you
the
can-
website that you're on. Tell me the
The truth
website.
about puberty blockers. It's a whole PDF file. .gov. Congress.gov. Look it up. The FDA hasn't approved them for gender dysphoria.
I don't care what
It has
the
an
FDA has
serious
approved.
and permanent change on children.
care. I
It's
don't
right
care.
here. Put me on a big screen. You're,
Oh wow!
you're
Look,
scared
there's
now. You're
nothing on
scared.
here. I've
Put
got
me on
it
a big
pulled.
screen.
I've
I
got it
your
pulled up.
source,
There's
and I'm
nothing here.
scared. You're
There's
running.
nothing here that says it stunts growth. Literally
Put me
nothing.
on the big screen.
Sure,
Why
I
are
want to
you
see
running? I have
specifically.
your source.
Wait, I want
The
to see
ones you were
specifically
getting
where
so
it says it
angry
stunts
about, I
growth.
have it for you
Show
now,
me
and you're running.
specifically where it says it stunts growth right now. Do it.
First of all, this is Congress.
Do it.
Up to.
Show me where it says it stunts growth.
Just so you know, it's an actual
Stop
suitable.
shaking the
go.
screen, dude.
Yeah, go ahead and look up
Go ahead.
the truth about puberty blockers. The FDA hasn't approved them for gender dysphoria.
waiting.
And their effects to be serious and permanent.
I'm waiting for what? I'm waiting for you to prove what you said you would
can
prove.
Go ahead and look up the source, bro.
All right, low life, you're done.
Congress.gov.
You're done. If you can't fucking be ingenuous, you're out of here. It's so simple.
How am I
It's
being
so
dis-
simple.
You can't even spell disingenuous,
It's so
bro.
simple. It's so simple. If you cannot prove to me that they stunt growth, you're gone. You have 5 seconds to
You
do
asked
so.
me for the source. I
5,
gave you the source, and now you're mad about it.
4, 3,
Yeah, the fashion for
2,
transgenderism has brought the
1.
new
Bye.
divorce-
See ya. You couldn't prove it. See ya. It was so simple. So simple.
Now I
You want to know?
why
You want to know?
said-
You want to know what's crazy? You want to know what's crazy?
What?
In his own source, it talks about how some women are given Lupron Depot PED so they will grow taller.
Oh, wow.
Well, I mean,
I'd love to know
they're
how growing
un-
taller is stunting growth.
I think the problem is and this is like my genuine theory. I think they believe that once you take puberty blockers, that they essentially prevent or block all hormones. Like you understand that
it's
there's
because
different.
it's because they're, say it with me, chat, they're uneducated.
Yeah, I was gonna talk to that pharmacist too, because by that logic, I would be causing change with my thyroid medication, because I take thyroid medication as well.
Yeah. I mean, I was also going to say, like, if it was true that it caused stunting of growth, like, should we ban everything that causes stunting of growth, like gymnastics?
Also, just really quick, his source, right, is not a congressional statement. It is just Congress posting an opinion piece from the Wall Street Journal. All he posted was an opinion piece. Like, there's no source there.
Yeah. This was something put into evidence by Republicans in order to argue against gender-affirming care. That's just it. Like, they brought up an opinion piece by someone with doctor in front of their name, rather than looking at the entire consensus of medical evidence.
Also, somebody sent a super chat to say it still blocks the growth that you were supposed to have until you go off of it. I think you people don't know what puberty suppression is.
Yeah.
Do you think
so
that?
Here's the thing.
Wait, really quickly, Lainey. I just want to say, do you guys think that, like, when you take puberty blockers once, that instantly you never go through puberty again? Is that what you believe drugs do? That you take it one time and then your body will never go through puberty again? Sucks for all those kids that take it from precocious puberty, right? All the cisgender kids that take it because they start puberty too early. Damn, sucks that they're never gonna go through it. You guys are so batshit uninformed. It's hilarious. Another person said, you are taking if hormones to change physical attributes, so I think your wrongness, but those cat ears are on point. Okay. I didn't even understand that sentence, but yes, you take it to change things. Nobody ever said that things weren't changing. I want to see the principled harm, and I want to see that this harm outweighs the benefits. This doesn't exist and they can't show it. Go ahead, Lainey.
Yeah, so when you're talking about like stunted growth, that is a charged word here. What's happening? And I want you to really think. If you have any doubt about this, I want you to just like listen to the words coming out of my mouth. Okay. So if you go on the blockers, right, all that's doing is delaying your puberty. It's slowing it down to a crawl. It doesn't actually block. That's just a colloquialism. It's slowing it down to a crawl to give you more time. It's literally to appease cis people who think that everybody's rushing into this when it's absolutely not the case. And then you go either back to your natal puberty when you go off of them, or you go on HRT. Now, if you're, say, a trans feminine person, like myself, you would, if you go back to natal puberty, you are going to begin a male puberty, and you are going to continue growing, etc. And you might be a quarter inch shorter than you would have been if you'd never been on the blockers. It's not a life-changing event. Okay, and if you go on to HRT and go into a feminizing hormone regimen, you're going to be around the average height that you would be if you had been born female. So you would be around the average height of the women in your family, most likely. And so it is stunting growth is really being over exaggerated here to cause fear.
Well, I first and foremost, I just want to say again, I asked very clearly for Lowlife to give me evidence of the claim he made that puberty blockers, pubertal suppressants, stunt your growth. What he instead gave was an opinion piece from the Wall Street Journal that never once mentions stunted growth. So I need you guys, if you're going to make a claim, he also then tried to flip-flop to other things. I don't want to hear other things. If you're going to make a claim, if you're going to come up here and make a claim to me, substantiate that claim. If you try to flip-flop to something else, I will not let you. I do not care if it's not FDA approved. We use tons of shit off-label. I do not care about any of this other nonsense. Show me the evidence of your claim or shut up. It's that simple.
We can make it even simpler too. Do we grow before our puberty?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay, so we're essentially infants until we go through puberty. Like, you understand that there's different hormones in place, and it's not just something that is initiated by puberty. I think it's the pituitary gland, right, with the human growth hormone, the HGH. So that is still an act. So I don't know why this constant idea that it stunts growth comes from. Like, I really don't know.
Someone sent me a super chat on
background?
YouTube to tell me to leave the kids alone. You know what I'm going to say to this? I'd like kids to stop dying. I would like children who have gender incongruence to stop feeling shitty about themselves because of people who do not like trans people, mostly because they're attracted to them and don't know how to deal with their own internalized homophobia. I would like for people to let children exist in the framework of what they are, instead of forcing children to be what you want them to be. Okay? I don't force kids to be what I want them to be. You do. You guys are the same people who are here's a quick question in the YouTube chat. I'm going to create a poll, and I'm going to prove something. Answer this poll. Are you in favor of conversion therapy? That's all I need to know. I started a poll on YouTube. I want to know if you can answer this on TikTok too. Are you in favor of conversion therapy? Y for yes, N for no. Simple question. So far, 6% of people said yes. 6% of people are predators. 6% of people are the actual groomers. 10% of people, 9% now, are for conversion therapy. Even though conversion therapy has been shown to lead to suicidality, has been shown to lead to depression, has been shown to lead to anxiety, all of these things, they do not care. 9% of people.
TikTok crowd is doing well over here.
I love the YouTube crowd not answering the poll, but just typing it in chat.
For real.
Oh God, not Shepherd.
I would only convert my child from a dog lover into a cat lover. That's the only conversion therapy that I would initiate, because we only have cat lovers in this house.
Again, we need to understand there is a current day attack happening on people who are LGBTQIA+. There's an attack. Donald Trump has admitted he doesn't want to just ban he doesn't want to just ban gender-affirming care for children. He wants it banned for adults. He wants it banned for all ages.
Yeah.
All
he
ages.
says literally for all ages. On his website, it was the literal first video of his little Agenda 47.
So we're sitting here.
Ages,
we're sitting
at
here.
Any age is what he said.
The Party of Freedom. The Party of Freedom wants to limit people's medical freedom. Hilarious. Go ahead, Shepherd.
Yeah, sweet.
No. Do your own research was here first.
Oh, sorry.
Do your own research. Do you disagree with the background?
Yes.
I definitely closer together. Hold on. Yes, I agree with
Did you hear that?
all of it. Because I feel like conservatives are very anti-LGBTQ plus.
Would you like a cookie, dear?
Because
Friend, you need to turn your TV off.
they're so scared to be attracted to
It is a special
the
day.
same sex, and they're so scared
Would you like a
that how to say this? They're
Okay, I'm just gonna mute you for 1 second. Oh, okay, well, never mind. Or that. We can
I
do
just
that.
wanted to tell them to turn their TV off.
Yeah, I was gonna tell them that too. Well, yes, Shepherd is next. And you said you disagree?
We're looking for opposition. So
Everybody
if you
say
disagree
W
with the
Lily
background-
for the Venmo. W Lily for the Venmo.
I just have a quick question about for the host.
Sure.
Sweet. So I guess I have two questions. I'll start off with trans men and women are men and women. So how would you define like men and women? How would you define these words?
I would define woman as an adult human female whose gender identity aligns with their personal schema on the female sex.
Personal what?
Their personal schema on the female sex.
Ah, right. Okay, sweet. Okay, so the children, minors deserve gender-affirming care. That's the one I want to talk about a bit, right? Why do you think minors should deserve gender-affirming care?
Because everybody deserves whatever healthcare is necessary for them to live happy and fruitful lives.
Okay, sweet. So I wouldn't really say I mean, I guess you could class it as healthcare, but I don't know. But me personally, I'm not really sure I would think that's healthcare. But
Does
why do you think
it
a
help their
child
health?
should be able to make that?
Wait,
why
really
do you think
quickly,
a
really
child-
quickly,
why-
really
why do
quickly,
you-
really quickly,
why do you
really
think- why
quickly.
do you-
This isn't
why-
this
why-
isn't an interview. This is a conversation. So you speak, I speak. Now I speak.
I was talking first.
I'm not going to let you rattle off question after question. If I have a response to something you said, I'm going to say it because this isn't an interview. Okay. You got it? You understand?
Okay. Yeah.
Great. Does gender affirming care help either mental or physical health conditions that people who have gender dysphoria have? Yes or no?
I don't know, but in the long run, I'm not really
Okay.
sure.
The answer is yes. So does healthcare. Go ahead.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, okay. Even if it was healthcare, I would still probably disagree with that quote unquote healthcare that you're giving to these children. But anyway, why do you think a child should be able to make should be trusted with the decision to undergo like hormones that have like irreversible effects on their body?
Okay. So one, they're not the ones making the decisions. The decisions are made by doctors and their parents and therapists and counselors and endocrinologists and a whole lit team of people. Second, when it comes to gender affirming care, most of gender affirming care that's not surgical is completely reversible. So
Hormones?
yes,
The
are
effects of some
reversible.
hormone blockade.
Hormones are
The
reversible.
effects of some... Yo, if you could
Yes,
let
they
me
are.
finish my sentence, I'd really appreciate that.
Go
But
ahead.
the effects of hormone blockers, some of them are irreversible.
Such as?
I made a video about this a while back. I don't really know them off the top of my head, but I'm almost certain that some of the effects of hormone blockers are irreversible. Now, let me ask
Wait,
you this.
Almost
Right?
certain.
He
You're
he
almost
went from a
certain.
confirmed, yeah, he went from like they do to like I'm almost certain. Which is it?
Okay, well, I am certain then. Anyway,
So what are they?
Do you think?
So what are they?
I don't. Again, I made a video about this, but I don't remember.
I
them off the top of my
don't
head,
need a
right? I
video
don't do
about this, right? If you're going to make the
I don't
claim,
do-
I want the
I don't-
claim substantiated.
I don't do this for a living, right?
If you're
I
going to
wasn't
make the
prepared for
claim, I
this.
want
I
the
just
claim
thought-
substantiated.
How can I substantiate a claim when you won't let me speak?
Because you're speaking to claim why you're speaking to tell me why you can't substantiate the claim.
No,
You're not speaking to substantiate the claim.
Because I don't know it off the top of my head.
So then I'm not going to take what you say as fact.
Okay, well
You
then
get that
don't take
right.
it as fact then. But I
Right.
have another question, right? Do you think children should be allowed to consent to intercourse?
No,
No, why not?
because of the implications of the power dynamics between children and adults. That's why I believe like a 16-year-old can consent with another 16-year-old, but a 16-year-old cannot consent with somebody over the age of 18 because there are power
Exactly.
dynamics and other implications. This does not prove your point.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to get you to understand that's how like a child, if a child should be able to be trusted with this decision to go through and put
The decisions are
irreversible
not the
effects
child's.
on their body, then they should be allowed to consent to intercourse,
The
right?
decisions are not
I-
the child's. They're the parents and the doctors.
No, but at the end of the day, a child is included with that decision, though.
Should children be able to take SSRIs,
What is that?
antidepressants?
Well, I don't know. I don't really know the effects of it on
Wait, but I thought children
don't-
can't consent. I thought children can't consent to things.
Well, not all. Obviously, children can consent to some things, but I don't.
Great.
Think,
So you need to.
mutilating their
You need to.
bodies- I don't
You need
think,
to.
You,
Hold on.
you have an interruption
Hold on.
problem, bro.
Hold on. You need to show me how there is a difference between medical treatment that children can consent to and medical treatment that they can't, and lay this out.
I don't know. I feel like if it doesn't have a I feel like it just depends on like the severity of what it is, and like I feel like you need to take into account like if it's like reversible or if it's irreversible or not. I really feel like that these are the types of things that should be brought into the discussion as to whether we would trust a child as making this decision for their own body.
Did you not hear like our previous conversation? Did you just get here?
No,
'Cause we
got
already
here.
did this entire conversation.
I wasn't. No, I wasn't here for the previous conversation.
Yeah.
So I just want to lay out pretty succinctly. I don't really do like fifis, right? Fifis are like bad arguments to me. Like if we're arguing fifis, okay. What I like to do is argue the actual facts of the matter. The actual facts of the matter is that when it comes to gender affirming care, it's a risk benefit analysis that parents make. Parents look at the risks that their children are at for having severe gender dysphoria, and then what they do is they will make the analysis in their head if gender affirming care is a benefit to this. Now, when it comes to gender affirming care, pubertal suppressants do not have long-term side effects. Like they don't. That's why they've been able to be used for people with precocious puberty for years. And people on with precocious puberty will be on puberty blockers for much longer than people who are gender dysphoric. Now, when I say long-term side effects, I mean like ones that negatively impact their lives. You might have long-term side effects from any medical treatment, any whatsoever. But when we're looking at like a statistical significance for how it impacts your life, you're not going to find this with pubertal suppressants. Now, HRT can, if you are not monitored properly while you are on HRT. But since we've moved to the WPATH standard, children are much more likely to be monitored correctly by their doctors and are much more like. So, for instance, one of the things people always say is, well, what about osteoporosis? Osteoporosis, bone density loss. This is counteracted with a regimen of like vitamins. Like the effects of this can literally be counteracted if you are being monitored by your doctor properly while you are on these things.
And I can attest to that. They check for those things as throughout a trans individual's life. If you're on feminizing hormones, it does reduce your bone density, but it does not reduce it to like unsustainable levels. It reduces it from male to female levels. And so to make sure that it doesn't go too far, you're checked, regularly and, recommended to use or are prescribed vitamin D, calcium, things like that.
Are you trans?
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's not cool that you come up here and spread misinformation about my community.
What misinformation have I been spreading?
Well, you are up here saying that like the harm outweighs the benefits, that trans minors are incapable of making decisions for themselves with the help of their parents and their doctors. You are assuming that their parents and their doctors are not involved when they absolutely are.
You made the claim that I said that the negatives outweigh the benefits. When did I say that?
You're up here questioning it without.
That would be the crux of the argument. That would be the crux of the argument.
No.
You said you made a video with all of the harms that it does without being able to substantiate any of that here.
That's actually not what I said.
So what's the video you made on?
Basically here in the UK, right, there was a recent ban on puberty blockers for children, and I was talking about how
that's a political ban that is not based on actual medical science. That was a ginned up garbage pseudoscience in order to justify removing the rights of trans people in the UK.
You still have rights, so don't bring up with this.
Do not talk to me about my rights. Do not.
No, but you do though. If you didn't have rights, then...
Currently I have, because I live in a blue state in the US. But listen to me. Shut the fuck up. If Trump gets what he wants, I will no longer have access to my medication because I am on Medicaid, because I was stalked by anti-trans weirdos and doxxed, and they told, they sent BOMB threats to my school and unalive threats to me. And so I left for my safety and the safety of my family and my students. And so I have been unemployed with PTSD for 4 years. And so I am now on Medicaid to get my hormones. And if I don't have them, I don't make them anymore. And he wants to take that ability for me away. And there are people that are refugees in our country now. There are people that are refugees in your country now because of politicians who have decided what's best for our medical care. So please do not tell me that I have all the rights that you do. I do not.
So, what rights do you not have that I do?
I just fucking explained it.
No, but no, you didn't. You just like, what specific right? Because you were just talking about them taking away your medication, which I don't personally believe.
You don't believe it, but it's true.
So where is right to trans care? Like, where is that written in your American Constitution or whatever it is?
I'm sorry. Do you think?
Healthcare.
Wait, really quickly.
Healthcare.
Really quickly. Do you think rights are just things written in the Constitution? Is that what you're?
Do you think there's a right for every medication that there is? There's
No,
a
it
right
would
for
just be like right
Tylenol.
to
There's a right for that's ridiculous.
But I personally,
Everybody should have a right to privacy and to making their own medical choices.
Self-actualization, right to freely and safely move around. That's also good. That she just very clearly described was infringed upon. Like, it's really not that hard.
Sorry, say that again.
The right to self-actualization.
What is that? What does that mean?
What does self-actualization mean?
To be your human being, to be who you are. What are you talking about?
She still has the right to do that.
No, she
Wait,
doesn't.
you go
If
by
she
she, right?
can't, if she, nuh-uh.
You go by she, right?
Okay, so if I would make, for example, a law against Christians, like you can no longer be a practicing Christian, that would be also an example against the right of actualization, self-actualization, because you're no longer able to fulfill a certain identity that you have.
Would this apply to like more like right-leaning views? Like, let's say if I was like am I allowed to say it here? But you know, like the am I allowed to say Nazi?
No, that's not an identity. You're dumb.
No, but you were talking about.
And you know
like,
that you're not allowed to say that, Shepard. You've been on this app long enough.
I didn't no, because I've never really spoken with this. But
If that's what you have to like refer to, like self-actualization is like clearly described in psychology. I don't think being a schnazi is one of them. I think that's very clear. You're just being obtuse. You're trying to argue. I think it's very common that we look at certain identities that we have in society that would obviously include some political identities. But gender, for example, is a very innate sense of identity that absolutely should not be infringed upon.
But also, this country does allow them because we just made one president-elect. So.
Oh no! Don't.
All right. I want to make something very clear. You've been making this claim that you are against gender-affirming care for minors, yet you have not been able to substantiate in the entire time you've been here any relevant statistically significant harm that comes about from gender-affirming care for the minor population. So unless you can substantiate the harm, unless you can do this, it's a pointless conversation.
Yo, buddy. Again, like if I had time to prepare for this, right, and this wasn't just like a thing that I just like saw on my For You page, right, I would be able to come in with all the facts and with all the sources, right? But
I'm sorry, is this a position that you hold? Is this a position that you hold? If it is a position that you hold, you should be educated on it before you even see a live. Do you think do you think that, no, being educated on something would mean that you would be able to substantiate the harm?
No, I'm educated on it. Let me finish. I'm educated on it. I just don't have every single source I've ever seen.
You don't have any source you've ever seen.
You don't
have anything.
Bro. Can I finish a sentence?
No, because you're just saying nonsense.
No, how do you not say nonsense when you won't let me speak?
Because the answer you're going to say is that you don't have access to all the evidence that you've seen. I get it. So my response to this is you don't have access to any of the evidence you've seen because you haven't been able to give a shred of evidence, not one. You haven't been able to give anything. So I don't care about fifis. I don't care about things that you feel. I don't go off of feelings. I want to go off of hardcore data. And the data, because I've researched it, right? I don't need to even have the studies in front of me to know that gender-affirming care lowers suicidality by 70%, that people who get bottom surgery only have a regret rate of about 1%, that the total regret rate for gender-affirming care is at max 3%, and that's being heavily conservative. I don't need to have something in front of me to know this data because I've researched it because it's my position. You didn't. You have a position that you have not thoroughly researched.
No, I have researched it. I just don't really know like all the I just don't know this off the top of my head.
Then you have researched it. So Devon, we agreed that we will fact check each other. We agreed. Okay, please don't fact check me. I'm coming into a debate. Bro, I mean, honestly, if you don't know everything by exact title, nobody's gonna be like, oh my God, you didn't know that exactly. Like, you can look it up. if you say, hey, this is the study that I'm referring to, I know 99% of the studies by heart that I have researched in my academics, in my free time, during debates. And if I have to look up the author, nobody's gonna like kill you for that here. Like, but you don't know even the basics. You don't know anything.
Like, you couldn't even tell me what a long-term side effect was. Any of them. I asked you just to name one long-term side effect, and you couldn't do it.
Yeah, but okay. Well, I'm pretty sure there's some like. I'm pretty sure that one of the side effects is that you can like start like losing your hair.
Oh my God. This is like the main difference
You're
between
pretty sure?
people that are socialized growing up as a man versus a woman is that men come into a conversation without knowing the topic, very vague, like my feelings, blah, 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 versus a woman that didn't know, that was socialized as a woman growing up would come into this space and be like, yeah, I have an opinion, but I'm not going to make a fool of myself and get in the box without all of my ducks in a row.
Socialized as a woman, so you mean a woman?
Hey guys, can we just acknowledge that when asked for harmful long-term side effects, it was hair loss was what we were given. We were given hair loss. That's our okay, got it. I will ban all trans kids from receiving gender-affirming healthcare because they may lose their hair. Sucks that you got to go through gender dysphoria, but we can't let you lose your hair.
No. Listen, I'll admit maybe I probably should be a bit more knowledgeable on like the negative effects of giving a child these medications, right? So I'll drop for now, right? I'll do a bit more research, and when I've got my facts all together, I'll come up here.
Bye.
Hair loss goodbye speech. Crazy, bro.
I can actually let me substantiate. I'm going to help him out, okay, for a second. Lupron Depo can cause hair loss in some people due to the hormonal changes, and this is in a clinical study of males with advanced prostate cancer. So they are taking high doses of the drug or the drug, and it was less than 5% of people experienced hair loss. This is not the same dosage, okay? And the people that want to compare it also to sex offenders, those are taking super high level doses for a very long, extended period of time. Those are going to cause permanent issues. But for kids taking it at extremely low doses for 1 to 2 years, the reason why it's that short period of time is because they have studied it and they know that that's going to be reversible. That like as soon as they go off it, they go right into their natal puberty. It does not have as like any of the like long-term effects of having a super high dose for an extended period of time.
Yeah, my fellow pregnant people, y'all can't get pregnant anymore with me because we all suffer from hair loss. I know y'all do.
Can we just get a W in the chat for Vicky? Vicky, thank you for the $10 Cash App. Everybody say W Vicky. Listen, I understand that people have this knee-jerk reaction when it comes to gender-affirming care, mostly because they don't understand it. Second, because they don't understand how doctors work. Third, because they're weirdos. When it comes to any of the negative side effects, because every medicine has negative side effects if you take it incorrectly or if you're not monitored properly. Almost all of them can be mitigated with proper monitoring from doctors, right? When it comes to things like sterility is not a guaranteed negative side effect. It is a potential negative side effect of a potential drug, just like every drug has potential negative side effects. Y'all pop Tylenol, you could go into fucking renal failure from popping Tylenol. So like, can we maybe have some I don't know, some foresight into the way that we're having conversations here?
Oh, Jesus. Yo.
DJ, what's up?
What's good, bro? I'm not, like, this could be a debate, but honestly, I'm just here to ask some questions. So, I'm not sure if you know, but the study that they did recently where they were trying to prove how hormone therapy is actually good for kids, and then they refused to release the study because they said that the other side will weaponize it against us, or whatever they said, basically confirming that it's not good for kids, and they don't want to release the studies because they don't want the backlash from it.
Who doesn't?
What's the name of the study? What's the name of the story? Give us something other than this like vague recollection of something that you saw somewhere.
It's okay. I didn't look up the name or any. I just saw an article. It didn't give me an exact source.
All right. So here's going to be, so real quick, here's going to be my answer to this. Here's going to be how I respond to this. We have multiple studies that already exist on the efficacy of these things. Puberty blockers have been being used since the 90s. We have like 30 years of evidence on pubertal suppressants, especially like Lupron Depot we've got clinical trials dating back to the 90s, right? We have studies that go into regret rate, studies that go into the mental health benefits, studies that go into all of these things. Now, could there be potential negative side effects from these things? Yeah, there is for every medical treatment. You're not going to find a single medical treatment without negative side effects, right? But what I always say when it comes to gender-affirming care, especially when it comes to the minor population, is it is a benefit risk analysis that parents do to decide if the benefits of these are going to outweigh the negatives of these. And in almost every case, they do. That's why our regret rate is so low when it comes to gender-affirming care. Even in minor populations, the regret rate is still low.
Well, I mean, I definitely understand that there's every medicine, like even with like SSRIs, like they have like horrible side effects. And I'm of the stance that I'm like against big pharma and all that. Most of the medicines that they push, I'm not really with, because I know that the side effects that they have, but also I know that everything, it's all just money. Like that's at the end of the day. They get paid for releasing these things. A lot of people are getting rich off of this stuff. So,
what's the potential side effect of being depressed?
Huh?
What's the potential outcome of being depressed?
The potential outcome of being depressed? I live in a town where there's like insane, the town's even called suicide falls.
Stop! You talk like a 5-year-old. When I asked my 5-year-old niece how her day was, that's exactly the conversations that I'm having. Answer the question. What is the potential outcome from people being clinically depressed?
Suicide?
Okay. So do you think if we outweigh it, there's a little bit of risk with the SSRIs versus somebody unalive?
They're not, okay.
So which one is more preferable?
They literally lead to people. They don't help people with that. They're not.
They do.
Not, the things that they say they help with aren't even real. Like they don't exist. I had an ex-girlfriend who got told she had borderline personality and all these things, and it's just an excuse for her to ruin all the relationships in her life. Like it's not a real thing. Like I think depression is real. I've dealt with depression, but then you go down these lists of borderline personality, all this, all that. It's not real things.
Are fake. You think mental illnesses are fake?
I'm not saying all mental illnesses are fake, but I think there's also a agenda being pushed by big pharma to get people to take these medicines, get people to do these things.
The only evidence you've given us so far is an ex-girlfriend's anecdote.
That's okay. I'm just saying what I have from personal.
Yeah, that's not interesting to us at all. That's not what Lainey asked. That's not what I asked. Like, we're not interested in your ex-girlfriend. Let's get this really clear. You know that mental illnesses have existed prior to the introduction of...
Okay, but everything has existed for a long time.
Why are you interrupting me? Do you think you're entitled to the space? You're wrong. So please, if I'm talking... Okay. Do you think that mental illnesses existed prior to the introduction of medications and big pharma?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it's not that big pharma has created all those mental illnesses.
There's more than there was. Depression has existed, but... Huh?
Why do you think that is?
Because of the medicines they pushed.
No.
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 So what is your source on this? Because you're telling me to have sources, and your source is just no.
I have sources on this. Like, and it's firstly that is very theoretical. The reason why we have expanded our knowledge on mental illnesses is simply because we have access to the mind better than we did 100 years ago. We used to think 100 years ago that
we also used to think 100 years ago that smoking cigarettes were good, and we smoked a lot of cigarettes, and we were actually healthier as a nation.
You need to really shut up when I'm talking. This is not going to work. I'm going to mute you. Why do you have the attention span and the storytelling ability of a 5-year-old? Seriously. Anyways, 100 years ago, people thought that people that have, for example, schizophrenia were possessed by the devil. And we now know, obviously, with modern medicine and modern research techniques, that that is not the case, that it is, in fact, a mental health condition. And it's not because there's an incentive to make money, because we see that those consensus also exist in socialized medicine, that those mental illnesses exist. There's no incentive of making any profit. Now you may talk. I'm too pregnant for this today, I swear to God.
I'm just gonna let him talk to himself for a little bit until he realizes he's on mute. By the way, you guys aren't tapping the screen, which tells me you guys hate cats, because you know that if we get to 100K likes, I'll show you guys the kittens.
There you go.
Sorry, my dog is freaking out right now.
Do you think that people are possessed by the devil?
Here, give me 1 sec. Relax, dude.
Who's possessed by the devil?
Do you think that people are possessed by the devil? Do you think that's the thing?
No, I don't believe in. I don't. I'm not a big religious person.
Right, because that would be silly. Like, there's no proof of a devil in your presence.
Well, that's a personal thing. I'm not going to discredit anyone what they think about religion. I don't think that's fair just to say it's not real when there's a lot.
Absolutely fair. Okay. It's absolutely fair to say.
I don't think that's fair. I think religion is like, you can have your opinions on it.
What did I? I'm sorry. Can someone just fill me in on what I missed?
He thinks that it's
I said I don't think SSRIs and a lot of modern medicine are actually useful. I don't really trust big pharma, but the one thing that I wanted to...
Where'd it go?
When it comes to like sports, how do you feel about biological man competing in women?
Oh, yay, my favorite topic. Even though I hate sports, I love debating this topic.
I'm just gonna give my a really quick take. I think all sports should be skill based, except for fighting sports, which should be based on weight class. Other than that, I don't care who competes against who. Make it skill based and move on with our lives. I just think like we really have to understand like the chemical and biological differences of men and women, like bone structure and muscle mass. And there's a lot of things, especially when you just like fight. Why?
Yes. You want to know those things, right?
All right. So I
you
thought
want to know those
interrupting
things?
people and
but you saying you want to know those things.
Okay.
So you would like there to be studies on them, yeah?
I don't. What do you mean? There already are studies show. Like you don't really have to have studies to see the difference between a man and a woman. How they like muscular, cardiovascular. Like I'm pretty sure you.
What other factor is there?
There isn't any. When we're talking about sports,
do you think that a hormone regimen might have some effect on the human body?
Not at all.
Hold on. What is that? What is that?
Do you think there might be some studies that would prove otherwise?
Okay, so you put a woman that has done a lot of hormone therapy, whatever you want to put her, and you put her a ring against Mike Tyson. What's going to happen?
You put anybody in a ring against Mike Tyson.
Ring against Mike Tyson. Put you in the ring with Mike Tyson. You're going to get your fronts knocked out.
Put a woman with whatever you want to give her in a room, in a octagon with the worst UFC fighter, the worst male UFC fighter. He is going to kill her. It's not. It's
Wait,
like,
okay, hold on. Whoa. This is
Please
not, hold
stop.
on,
Let
really
me
quickly.
actually-
Really quickly, I just want to point out that this is just fundamentally not true. That's why, like, Patricio Manuel, who's a boxer, who's a trans man, has won almost every fight he's ever had. If it was the case that even with gender-affirming hormone therapy, that women could never beat men, right? Then a trans man should never win. Yet he did.
He's 3-1.
but
That's 3-1.
That is a direct example of what
professional boxer.
Have you?
In
Okay,
his
that's
weight
one
class.
example. We could say the example. I don't know their exact name, but there's the woman that fought in
Who was a
MMA. She fought this
cisgender woman?
giant man and just got absolutely flatlined.
Who?
Like, I
Okay,
don't know.
was the-
Hold on, Laney. Hold on, Laney. I
Was
just
the
want to
giant
get
man on
specifics.
estrogen? Was the
Wait.
giant man on estrogen?
Wait, really quickly. I want to get specifics on the who. Like, who are we talking about?
I don't know the exact. I literally just saw a video.
Some
and I was
girl
like,
and some guy. Mhm.
yeah,
Okay.
like that. I don't think that's right. I don't think you should.
Okay, listen.
You could just look at the
The man
difference when you
was
put,
not a trans woman. The man was not on
man.
feminizing hormones.
What are you talking
Correct?
about? Yes. No, I'm
Correct?
saying, what are you talking about? It said trans man in the video.
A trans man fighting.
Yes, it was a woman.
You're saying.
A woman.
You
Yes.
keep saying woman. Where's the woman?
Okay. That's a biological woman. I'll say that. How about that?
Wait, okay.
A biological female?
Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on. Oh,
So you're
Why-
confusing us.
wait,
because
Wait.
you said woman.
Wait. Please wait. So what am I under the impression here that you are saying it was somebody who was born female who went through transition to identify as man,
Yes.
and that they were beating women?
No, they transitioned into a man, fought a man, and got fucked up.
Okay.
Because you can't.
What
you
about
can't,
all?
like,
Wait,
there's not-
but again, what about the example I just gave you? A
Also-
direct example of a person that did
that's
this
just,
and then
that's
won.
just one. How many more?
So is
examples are there?
yours.
Like the opposite happening.
I don't see any actually. Where is this? You need a name. Like
Or
I
how-
don't. I'm looking. I'm trying to find it. I don't see it.
Okay, just we can talk about. I don't know the woman or the. I don't know the woman's name. What's
Trans
you
man.
Know the
A trans
who's
man. Stop calling him a
Who's
woman.
the person that Who's the person in swimming that's just been kicking every woman's
Leah
ass?
Thomas,
That's,
who won a single race.
yeah.
That's okay. Hold
Yeah,
on.
that
I'm
one.
gonna go through. I'm gonna go through the Leah Thomas thing because I think it's just nonsense that people always bring up Leah Thomas but never actually know anything about Leah Thomas. So
Yeah.
Leah Thomas.
Right, love you, best team. Gotta go. Love you.
Okay.
Hi,
bye,
Karen.
Jared.
Love you,
Leah
Mama.
Thomas was ranked 89th in the men's division in 2018 and 2019. In 2019 through the 2020 season, when they were taking HRT while still in the men's division, they dropped down to rank 462nd. They didn't play the next year because of COVID. Then to 21 to 22, she was ranked 31st in the women's division. She, during the only championship that she swam in, right, she only won the 500-yard freestyle. She placed 5th in the 200-yard freestyle, which means 4 cis women beat her. And she placed dead last in the 100-yard freestyle, which means 7 cis women beat her. During that swim match, 97 records were broken, none of which were broken by her. She didn't break a single record.
I thought something happened. Maybe I'm misinformed, but I thought recently wasn't she in the Olympics recently? Or
No.
She was not allowed in the Olympics.
Because I've seen it recently, and obviously
she
the
was
Olympics
not-
were recent. I thought she was in the Olympics
She was
and was
not
just
allowed in the
perusing
Olympics.
people.
She
And if
was
that's
not.
what she wasn't?
She was not allowed in the Olympics. You're just making stuff up in your head. Now, however,
I said maybe I'm
trans
misinformed.
women
I don't know
were
why you're
allowed.
being so,
Trans women.
I was having an actual conversation with the other guy. Yo, can I talk to
trans
bro again?
women-
I don't know. I don't really want to talk to you. I don't really want to.
Lady-
Yeah, you don't want to speak to a trans person on trans issues because it makes you uncomfortable. I understand that, but I should
When
be
you just
allowed in this
interrupted, when you
conversation.
interrupt, okay, you've interrupted me multiple times, and you just
I'm
kinda getting,
interrupting
like,
you to
aggressive
stop you from
and, like,
spreading
I was having an actual
misinformation.
peaceful conversation. Like
You are
I've come
spreading
here to like learn
misinformation,
something.
and I'm here
yes,
to
I'm
correct
trying
the
to.
record.
I'm asking. Okay, I said when I
DJ,
first
DJ, are you
joined
not
here, I
gonna
said I'm
engage?
asking questions.
If you're not going to engage with everyone on the panel, then I can drop you and you can go cry in the chat.
Okay. That's fine. I really don't care.
No.
I came in here to ask some questions. I asked my questions. That's cool.
Can I please?
No, I really don't care. You can kick me. That's cool. I'm chilling.
I'm just going to have a tantrum now. Okay.
Okay, bye.
No one has ever, not a single trans female has ever won an Olympic event.
But also, if you
One
had
competed
questions about
ever,
if you had questions
and
about
she didn't
like,
even qualify.
if you had questions about trans people, like, why wouldn't you want to talk to a trans person first? You know what I mean? Like, that's bananas. All right.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say. I think there is also issues with like the format, because like even you guys don't hear when I talk, so like we don't always hear each other speak on TikTok Live. But like if we know what someone's gonna say, let us just finish the sentence for you. There's no point going through the rigmarole. Like, we know where the sentence is gonna go.
All right, you done? You land your plane? Great, wonderful.
I talked for 5 seconds. The fuck you mean land my plane? It was a 5 seconds sentence.
Well, I'm asking if you're done. See, I'm going to prove that this is nothing but a power trip that y'all want to have. It's not about discussion. You guys all want to have a power trip. Yeah, I'll prove it to you.
Go ahead.
Okay, tell me what a man and a woman are.
Super easy. A man would be an adult human whose gender identity aligns with their social schema on the male sex, and a woman would be an adult human whose gender identity aligns with their social schema on the female sex.
And what happens if that person doesn't align their gender identity?
Then they would be the opposite. What?
They would know.
If their gender identity does not align with the male sex, I don't think you. Wait, can you do me a favor? Can you repeat back my definition and explain it to me? Because I don't think you understood what I said.
What is gender dysphoria?
Are you going to answer the question I just asked you?
Tell me what gender dysphoria is.
Gender dysphoria is when you have a disalignment with your gender identity and the sex you were prescribed at birth.
Right. And what happens if you don't align it?
What the fuck are you talking about?
What happens when those people don't align the two?
Bro, please, you don't know what you're talking about. Can you take the definition I gave you and repeat it back to me and explain what I mean by it?
My question?
Can you steal? I have been answering your questions. Why can't you answer one of mine? I've answered every question you've asked so far. Why can't you answer one of mine?
Why can't you? What happens to those people who don't align what their brain says?
They have gender dysphoria.
What their appearance, what they see in the mirror.
What happens to people with gender dysphoria? They have gender dysphoria.
No. That's such a simplistic answer.
Because it's a simplistic question. Ask dumb questions, get dumb answers. What are you talking about?
Emotional distress. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, so you mean when I said you mean you, oh my god, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. Can you please repeat back to me? Can you repeat back my can you steel man my definition of woman? Can you steel man my definition of woman, please?
No, I can't, because I didn't pay attention.
Because you didn't exactly. So why did you ask the question if you don't care? This is it. You sat here. You came up here all condescending, like, I'm going to show how you guys are doing. Asked me a question that you didn't even listen to the answer to because you were just ready to go along your little script instead of having a genuine conversation. You are disingenuous. If you're going to ask a question, hold on, Alina. This is for everybody here. If you're going to ask a question and then not listen to the answer, you are disingenuous. You are, by definition, disingenuous. You're not interested in an actual conversation. So I'm going to ask you again, Steelman, because you're not here to conversate. Somebody who's here to have a conversation listens to the other person talk. You know that, right? You know that somebody here, I don't give a fuck what I'm getting. I don't care. I don't care. Somebody who's here to have a genuine conversation is going to actually listen to what the other person says. They're not going to ask a question, hear an answer, and then not know what the person said. That's what a genuine conversation is. Alina, do you agree with me that that's how you have an actual conversation with somebody?
I agree.
Okay. Lainey, do you agree with me that that's how you have a conversation with somebody?
Yeah, usually you want to listen to the answer if you ask a question.
Great. So real conservative, I'm going to give you one chance. I'm going to give you one chance. If you ask a question
Donald
again that you
Trump's gonna
don't listen to
strip
the answer
all
to,
your-
if you ask a question again that you don't listen to the answer to, I'm just gonna boot you. I don't need you here. You're not important to me.
Enjoy the power trip. Like, when are you going to wake up and realize that
Are you
can't-
gonna engage in the conversation? Yes or no?
Are you going
to
stop
engage in the conversation? Yes or
your
no?
power trip
Are you gonna
right
engage in
now
the conversation? Yes or
and
no?
allow me to
Are you gonna
speak?
engage in the conversation? Yes or no?
Are you going to give
Are you
me
going to
the
engage in the
chance to
conversation? Yes or no?
speak? Are you going to give me
Are
the
you going
chance
to engage
speak?
in the conversation? Yes or no?
Hey, look at you. Look at
Are
you.
you going to
don't have
engage
a
in the
dialogue.
conversation?
You
Yes or
think
no?
You can push people.
Are you going to engage in the
accepting
conversation?
your point
I'm
of
sorry.
view?
I'm sorry, chat. Hey, chat. How can I have a dialogue with someone that doesn't listen to the answers that I say? Can you, chat, tell me what should I do? If somebody wants to have a dialogue and I answer their questions very succinctly and they don't listen to the answers, how can we have a dialogue? I'd love to know. I'd love to know what fucking batshit world you exist in that we can have a dialogue when you don't fucking listen to a question.
Take a deep breath.
Are you going to engage in the conversation? Yes or no?
Relax.
Are you going to engage in the conversation? Yes or no? 5.
Relax. First,
4,
calm down. Take yourself
3,
from a 10
2.
down to a 5.
Okay, you're not going to engage in the conversation. See you. I don't need you here, bro. You are not important to me. I will gladly bring up someone that wants to engage in the conversation, but you have to actually engage in the conversation. When I answer your question, when you just pivot to a new topic because you didn't comprehend the question I said, you're not here to engage in actual conversation. So see ya, goodbye, bye, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. Super simple. Like, y'all must got me fucking compared. Y'all must think I'm one of these, y'all like really must think I'm one of these, like, haven't been doing this for 3 years debaters, right? You really must think I'm one of these, like, kids that you can join their lives and, like, bully them on TikTok. I'm not. I'm a grown fucking man. I've been doing this a while. I'm going to say real simple. If you can't handle an adult speaking to you in a loud tone of voice, you're a fucking baby. You're a baby. If you can't, why are you so loud? It hurts my little conservative ears when you're so loud. Nigga, shut the fuck up. What? Think I give a shit? Anyway, what's up, Drake?
Not much, man. How are you guys living?
We're chilling. Do you agree with the topics on the board, friend?
No, I wouldn't say that I'm anti-LGBTQ. I'm peace and love, man. I just want everyone to MAGA. That's it. We can all join forces. We can MAGA together.
I'm sorry. So you did vote for Donald Trump. So you are anti-LGBTQ.
No, not at all, man. Not anti at all. I'm all love. Listen, the right and all the people who voted for Trump and all the people who are MAGA, we want to unite the country, bring everybody together.
The right wants to restrict gay people from getting married. How is this uniting
no, not
the
at all,
country?
man. Never that. Never that.
Bet? You want to bet me?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you know me more than I know myself, but I don't want to restrict anybody getting married.
Okay. So multiple high levels conservatives, this would include Matt Walsh, this would include people that are connected to Trump's own campaign, things like that, have come forward in the last couple of days to say that, yes, we actually do. Hold on, I'm not done. Hold on. Came forward and said, yes, we actually are putting through Project 2025. Project 2025 directly calls for the removal of gay marriage directly. Multiple people in Congress right now, multiple congressional candidates that are on the GOP are against gay marriage. They want to repeal that right for gay marriage. People on the Supreme Court have stated that, like, I think Clarence Thomas has stated that he is against gay marriage. So by voting in conservative politicians, you have voted in people that want to remove gay marriage. So I would say you are anti-LGBTQIA plus. That's just like the first point on that.
There's a video, if you want, you can search it. RFK Jr. is doing an interview, and he's talking about the first time he ever spoke to Trump about Project 2025. And
You're just going to ignore everything that was just said?
Yep.
Literally, Donald Trump. Well, I'm explaining to him that Donald Trump has nothing to do with 2025. It's not going. None of that's going to happen. He literally said to RFK Jr., he was like, I don't even know what 2025 is. He was like, I have nothing to do with this.
It's okay, Alina. I got it. Drake, how many people working on the Project 2025 team were former Donald Trump staffers?
The word there is former. You did say former, correct?
I did, but can you answer the question?
I'm unaware, but again, you said former, so they don't have anything to do with him now. You can spread all the lies.
Can you answer the question for me? Can you just answer the question for me?
I literally just, are you not listening to me?
Can you answer the question for me?
Are you listening to me?
Can you answer the question that I asked?
Are you listening to me?
Can you answer the question that I asked?
Are you listening to me? Did you hear my answer? I said I don't know. I literally said I don't know.
Beautiful,
this is how much you guys listen.
Beautiful. Here's the answer. Over 100. I think it's like 120 to like 140 people.
104.
Now,
cool.
Now, hold on. Now, what will you say if what would you say if these people then get rehired into Trump's White House? What will you say? Will you admit you're wrong?
No, because I won't admit that I'm wrong unless he starts to do things that are in Project 2025. So.
Okay. So like the fact that Project 2025 calls for mass deportation on the first day of his presidency, and his state secretary has already said that they're going to go through mass deportation on the first day of his presidency, or the fact that Project 2025 calls for a denaturalization process, which is when we remove people's citizenship. And his own campaign manager said that they are pushing through denaturalization on day one. So these things wouldn't line up.
Yeah, if they're criminals, everything that I've read, he says criminals. He doesn't just say illegal immigrants or anything like that. He says if you're a criminal, you will be being deported from this country, and I agree with that.
Wait, is this the same Drake that called Jeff White? I think so.
I don't know any Jeff. I don't have any friends named Jeff. I don't know any Jeff.
And if you want to deny Project 2025, fine. You can do that for another few months. Enjoy that.
So just really quickly, I want
to
hold on, Lainey. I just want to correct some misinformation before we get too far away from it. The people that are going to be denaturalized are not just criminals. It's people who might not have shown up when an old application, did not appear from an old application, even if they've appeared for applications since then. It's going to be people who might have discrepancies in their applications. It's going to be people who committed crimes, even if they hadn't been charged at the time of their naturalization. It's going to be a swath of people. So this idea that it's only criminals, untrue. Second of all, the idea that as soon as someone commits a crime, we can remove their citizenship is nonsensical. We don't remove our citizenship because we commit a crime. Do you believe everybody that commits a crime should lose their citizenship?
From everything I've read, it's going to be like violent crimes, like rape, unaliving people, stuff like that.
I just read you what it's going to be.
Well, it doesn't matter what you read. I can find something that reads different. So there you go.
The administration is going to strip citizenship from individuals based upon old removal orders issued when an applicant did not appear, discrepancies in applications, and allegations of crimes that they had not even been charged with at the time of their naturalization.
Again, I'll repeat. You can find anything to fit your narrative. I can find anything to fit my narrative. But let's talk about this.
So,
who won?
This is just a
and the popular vote.
I don't. Who won does not matter to me.
It's not a fucking football game, dude.
What is the majority of the people want?
Who won does not. Well, no, it's not the majority of people. It would be the majority of people that voted. 72 million people is not the majority of people in the country. You know that, right? It's just the majority of people that voted.
Then maybe it would have gone another way. Maybe you should be mad at them.
Can you stick to the actual conversation that we're having?
No,
you're not. You're pivoting.
People are mad at Kamala. Nobody knows how the government works. Like, do you really think Kamala was going to bring? Hold on. Do you really think Kamala was going to bring Roe v. Wade back? She couldn't.
No, I don't think Kamala was going to.
Control the House and the Senate too. They would have.
I'm sorry.
Back every single time.
Did you hear me at any point say Kamala Harris is going to bring back Roe v. Wade? Or are you debating people that are not here?
No. I'm talking about people being mad at Kamala. Like, it has nothing to do with
Are you debating people that are not here?
What are you talking about, dude?
Are you? Like, I've not said Kamala Harris is going to bring back Roe v. Wade. Never said that.
No, I was just bringing that up as a point.
Yes, because you're debating people that aren't here. You're debating boogeymen. Go ahead, Lainey.
Yeah, I just want to, hey, please, because you wanted to, disavow Project 2025, I just want to show you all of the GOP senators who voted against the Respect for Marriage Rights. John Barrasso, Republican. Marsha Blackburn, Republican. John Boozman, Republican. Mike Braun, Republican. Bill Cassidy, Republican. John Cornyn, Republican. Tom Cotton, Republican. Kevin Kramer, Republican. Mike Crapo, fun name, Republican. Ted Cruz, Republican. Steve Daines, Republican. Deb Fisher, Republican. Lindsey O. Graham, Republican. Charles Grassley, Republican. Bill Haggerty, Republican. This is from the voting rolls for the Defense of Marriage Act.
How long ago was that?
Josh Hawley, Republican. John Hoeven, Republican.
This was 2
Cindy
years
Hyde
ago.
Smith, Republican. James M. Inhofe, Republican. Ron Johnson, Republican. Do I need to do this? It's kind of just all of them.
Wait, 2 years ago, so like in the Biden administration. That's funny.
Homie,
Do you think that they were voting Democrats because they were under the
There's
Biden
no
administration? These are all
fucking way,
Republicans,
bro.
you dingus.
There's no way. There's no way he said that. There's no way.
My God.
There is a way I said that. You're pretending that Trump is going to come
The
in and take
act
away rights from
passed.
this.
The
This
act
all happened
passed.
2 years
The
ago.
act passed.
Okay, and it happened 2 years ago.
Yes, and every Republican that supports him voted against it. They don't want it to go through. So now that they have control of the Congress, they can go back and strip this bill away. Do you know how Congress works? Do you know how the Senate works?
I do. I was explaining that to you earlier.
Well, you clearly don't if you don't understand that when a large portion of the Congress wants one thing and they now get control of Congress, they can push through this thing that they want.
Nobody wants it. Everybody just wants the economy fixed.
I'm sorry.
And no more
How many Republicans voted
lower
against it?
immigration. That's
How many
literally
voted?
the
How many
top
Republicans
two
voted
things-
against
okay,
it?
you talk over me.
Republican state
Republicans voted
houses
against it?
pushed through over 540 anti-LGBTQ bills. They introduced over 540 anti-LGBTQ bills in the last year in state houses. They are very actively wasting time taking away the rights of queer people.
Well, I don't think that they are, and I think that you guys should just MAGA. We can make America great again.
Yeah, okay, you pivot back to your original little platitude, but
Because
your
like
denial,
and I'm in a good
your
mood and
denial,
making MAGA.
your
This is
denial
Wait,
that
hold on,
your
hold on.
vote affects queer people is absolutely false.
Hold on. I have a really, really simple question to ask. A really simple question. Did all of the Republicans who voted against the Respect for Marriage Act, do they want to repeal marriage, or do they want to make it so that marriage is back to being just man and woman?
No. The only thing I've heard is like they don't want kids to transition and they don't want to like taught in our school. But like all of that it's just all minor issues. Like nobody cares about
Not
this
minor
stuff.
to me.
So
It's
when
not minor to me.
It's minor because it's not gonna happen. You're just fear-mongering and
Hold on.
everybody's so scared.
So
like,
when
it's
Ted
horrifying.
Cruz,
Literally on
so
his
when
website. my
hold
friend.
on, wait, really quickly, Lena, really quickly. So when Ted Cruz specifically said that the Supreme Court was wrong for the Obergefell v. Hodges decision, when he clearly lays out that he doesn't believe in this, you think he wouldn't try to have this repealed?
And when did he say this? Just yesterday?
No, Ted Cruz has been saying this since 2022.
Oh, he said
Ted
it
Cruz
today.
believes the U.S. Supreme Court was clearly
said it in
wrong
the
in
last
its
week?
landmark 2015
Oh, he said it in
Obergefell
the
v.
last
Hodges
month.
ruling.
So this is all current stuff that he said like in the last month?
What does it matter when he said it, if he said it? His opinions have not changed.
For one and for two, like if
His opinions have
you
not
can't-
changed.
You can't make something relevant that was like said a year ago. Like, hey,
His
last
opinions have
year
not changed.
on February 2nd.
Wait, hold on, hold on, lady. I because I really want to boil down on this. Let me just test this real quick with a logic question, Drake. Let me just test this. If somebody said, if it's 2024 and somebody said in 2021 that they want to sleep with your teenage daughter, would that matter to you in 2024?
I would have addressed the issue in 2021 if someone said they wanted to sleep
Would
with my
it
teenage
matter to you in 2024 that they said it in 2021?
Probably
You're
not,
avoiding the
'cause they
question.
wouldn't be alive anymore. So
You're
no,
avoiding.
it would not matter.
So no, it would not matter to you that they said it. Got it. That's all I needed to know.
Correct, because they'd already be unalive.
You
They
wouldn't.
would-
You
so
wouldn't.
why
You're a
would it
pussy.
matter?
You wouldn't do shit. You wouldn't do shit. You're not doing
You're
anything.
So big mad, bro.
You're not doing anything. I'm not mad. I'm just. I'm not. I would absolutely talk to you like this in person.
No, you absolutely.
I'm talking to you like this right now. I'm talking to you like this right now. I don't care. I don't care that you boxed for 6 years. I don't care that you boxed for 6 years. I do not care. I do not care that you boxed for 6 years. You're just showing that you're a fucking. You're emasculated.
Wah.
Instead of engaging in the conversation intellectually, you're going, well, I'm gonna knock you out. I don't give a fuck that you're gonna. I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck that you're gonna knock me out. I don't care about any of that fucking shit. What's hilarious is that when people are intellectually, what's hilarious is when people are intellectually ignorant, like you are, they have to resort to violence because you're intellectually ignorant.
I resorted to violence because you started talking shit.
You don't understand that the people you voted for are putting through policies. You don't understand that the people that you voted for are putting in policies that are directly going to harm people. You don't get that. You don't get it at all, and you seem to be setting a fucking terrible example for your fucking kids. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't care.
Great. I don't care either.
Well, now you're real big Angie right now, but like, please don't take it out on your kids, which I know that y'all are prone to do.
Like, please, bro. Like, oh, I don't care that Ted Cruz said he's against gay marriage, and now multiple congressional candidates said they're against gay marriage, and now they have control of the Congress and the Supreme Court and the Senate, and they can overturn Obergefell v. Hodges. But like it baffles me. It blows my mind. They're gonna do it again, where they're gonna say no, marriage is a states' rights issue. It's gonna go back to the states, and we're gonna have plenty of states that strip away the right to marriage from people. It's like, fucking, you can connect the dots from one thing to another, bro.
What did I do, Alina?
Oh, I didn't realize you left. My bad.
Like, make it make fucking sense, dog. Invader Nim, what's up?
Hi there. Okay, so the guy that was here before the last one, he had like conservative in his name. So I don't know if you're aware of like Canadian politics at all, but we have a political party in Canada called the Conservatives. So you'll get like a lot of Maple MAGAs in here that are going to think that your background is specifically targeting the Canadian political party. I just thought you're going to like be, that's what.
I mean, if the Canadian political party is conservative, then I am.
Yeah.
TBA.
No, they're Maple MAGAs basically. Like that's what they are up here. They were screaming Trump, go Trump, stuff like that. So it's, yeah. But I just thought like that's why you'll see a lot of Canadians coming in thinking you're talking about our political party with like concern. I'm not telling you how to run it. I'm just letting you know like that's what's going to happen. That's all.
I'm fine with that.
I know. I just like, yeah, just let you know. Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, sub on Twitch, nice.
Yo, thanks for subbing over on Twitch. Are y'all enjoying morning stream? If you're enjoying morning stream, feel free to tip to the Cash App or Venmo link in the link tree in the bio. You don't have to, but feel free if you want to. Can I get a W to Caitlin for the $10 Venmo and a W to Painted Piglet for the Venmo? Thank you guys so much. I'll adjust the number on the screen. Oh wait, I think it's different.
Somebody asked in the chat, are there marriage equality trigger laws in U.S. states? Yes. As of right now, it's 25 states, and you can probably figure out which ones, for the most part, have restrictions on gay marriage, and would go into effect if respect for marriage was overturned.
Yeah, they specifically have laws that are set to prohibit same-sex marriage if Obergefell v. Hodges, like Lainey said, gets overturned. Which, again...
Yeah, which actually respect for marriage wasn't like... That wasn't saying that like it's legal everywhere. It's like every state has to recognize it if you're married somewhere else. So there are states that like if Obergefell was overturned, immediately would not perform marriages at that point.
And again, we know because Clarence Thomas has directly said that the Supreme Court should reanalyze Obergefell v. Hodges.
Thank you, Boo.
He said that he doesn't agree with the Supreme Court's ruling on this decision, which is the same-sex marriage decision.
And also, if he retires, they'll go after Loving too for interracial. He just didn't mention Loving in that statement because he's in an interracial marriage. But if he's gone, which he plans to retire, and they replace him with a YT individual, Loving's gone.
HH, what's up? Do you agree or disagree?
Let's see. I am calling because I am a radical left lunatic, so entrenched in my wokeness that I don't know what it means to be a true patriot. I'm not perfect, but I don't pay hush money to porn stars either. So I'm just really curious as to why people support somebody who does. I am in a very red state. I'm very familiar with the Obergefell because it was in my people from my state championed that court case. I'm 56 years old. I have been I've been with my wife for 26 years. I think it's really, really sad. It's going to backfire on a lot of people because you're now talking about upending Title IX, which protects college students from sexual assault, so you can get rid of the 0.008% of transgender women in college sports. Trump was really, really good about fear-mongering. He was really, really good about turning back the page to when interracial marriage was not okay, women's voting rights. This has repercussions that people have no idea. It's harming every single American in this country, and I'm really, really sad about it. I'm sad that people think they won something and they don't know it yet. They didn't. So I just wanted to add that, and I have so much respect for you guys coming on these lives and taking a lot of heat for standing up for what you believe in, and ultimately what's in the best interest of everybody in this country. I don't understand, and I'll wrap it up with this. I don't understand how a party that is anti-LGBTQIA sees a candidate who enacts fellatio on a microphone. I don't understand how they break the Grindr app at every RNC, but yet they want to get rid of these trans, gays, whatever else. Making America great again just means you can say those things out loud. So I'm really sad that they're exposed right now, and thanks for giving me the time to talk about it. I love you guys.
You ate with that Grindr piece, not gonna lie. You ate with that one.
Yeah. And hey, I've heard quite a few of the in the GAY community that said no more DL men, no more, no more DL men. So
yeah,
that's
I'm
it.
not the tolerant left
For y'all
anymore.
too.
Yeah,
I've never been
I'm no longer
tolerant.
the smallest person in the room. I am not the tolerant left anymore. I'm done.
I just want to say thank you to Feline and Jay for the Venmos. Thank you for supporting morning streams. We get to continue doing morning streams because of the wonderful support from viewers like you. Remember to also support your local libraries. Do we got anybody else in the box that might disagree? I should like pre-record like a PBS style thanks for your support type thing. What? Who's this? Oh.
Kidding.
Neutral. We did not make our lies a talking point. The Republicans did. They were the ones in their think tanks that decided to come for us. They started targeting us with laws, with ads, and with discourse, and we are merely defending ourselves. So don't say that we brought this up as a talking point. Ooh. We are merely defending our lives.
All right, Cops Corner, how old are you?
All right, so I'm 30 years old, turning 31 this year. I am a conservative. I voted for Trump in 2016. I voted red in some elections local, but as of late, I've turned blue. I voted for Biden in the previous election run, and I also voted for Harris in this current election run as well. Again, I am a conservative who does hold some hardline views, but I also do hold very liberal views. So, I would say, if I was in Congress, etc., I'd be one of those guys who might be outed, who might be anti-that, all that. So hopefully I can be a bastion as a conservative to debate for y'all. I hope you're all having a good day. And the previous people, unfortunately, they do represent a larger majority of conservatives these days. That, unfortunately, Republicans, they've had the time in the previous loss to fester, to incubate, and they're now able to do what they've been wanting to do. The first Trump presidency was a test run. Now it's very interesting to see how it's all panning out. In retrospect, I'm not too surprised. Harris had failed her campaign. It was a very well-ran campaign, despite it being 100 or so days. But anyway, at risk of being long-winded, let's debate. I'm open floor to y'all if you want to go back and forth here on this one. So it's good.
Is there any specific things on the board that you disagree with?
So I would say, that I would disagree that conservatives are anti-LGBTQIA. I would say that, and this is a very weird take, and I understand it's also quite a radical take coming from a conservative such as myself. I'm going to use the tried old dumb method. I do have friends, LGBTQ, etc., fantastic people, and the overruling rule is this. I mean, bodily autonomy is a thing. There's no one can argue that, period. As a conservative, I'm on for that, but I unfortunately, that's the majority. Conservatives who do vote for Trump, who are, yes, I would say as a conservative, they do have that view, but I would also argue there are, unfortunately and fortunately, a large majority of conservatives who definitely don't view that way, but who are definitely scared to express those views, who do view who aren't, we're not against any of the marriage laws. Love is love. Why would anyone want to be against
Ted Cruz is.
It's scary. It's all the guys who are now in the power now. It's really up to conservatives like myself and others to vote and to even be put in positions who have these views to hopefully change and skew the view of the Republican Party that has unfortunately become very twisted now. So I would say conservatives are not anti-LG. They are and they aren't. I understand it's hypocritical. It is a view that I do hold, and I do understand where it comes from.
By and large, the party platform is extremely towards LGBTQIA+.
I agree.
By and large. And by and large, conservatives are still willing to vote for them despite their very directed choice to attack us and for them to take away the rights of women. People are still, by and large, able to overlook that because of their pocketbooks, because of their idea of America first, like isolationism, whatever it is. They have some other pet issue that is more important to them than the human rights of others. And there's no looking away from that, and no, not right. All menning it. You know what I'm saying? Because what you're kind of doing is saying, well, not all men are predators. Not all men. So it's a very similar. And please don't speak over me. It's a very similar. Similar. What's the word? Sentiment, right?
Yes.
And so I appreciate that that some of the things that you said, that like you looked at the candidates and you said I can't go for that, and you said that like the conservatives that do see this as a problem, need to speak up. You said that they are afraid to, but they need to start doing that. They really, really, really do. They need to start saying, look, this is enough. And it goes the same for like Christians who understand that like if they are really truly following Christ, they would not be anti-migrant. They would not be anti-LGBTQ. They would not be anti-women. But so they see their compatriots doing those things, and they just say, "Well, I'm not like that, so I'm good, right? I'm a safe YT person," and they wear their blue bracelets and stuff like that. But like, we need to start seeing action from those folks that say, like, this is not the party I grew up with, and we need to fix it.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you 200%. I mean, it's to me, as a kid growing up, as a millennial, I grew up during a time of a lot of change, a lot of different political views, a lot positive and negative change. And you are hitting the nail on the head 250%. It's up to conservatives to speak up against these atrocities. It's human rights. Like, it's not, at the end of the day, people who say it's not a political issue, you're right, but you're also missing the point at the end of the day. It's humanity, okay? Again, piggybacking off the abortion issue, you can't argue bodily autonomy. That's what it is, period. I mean, the only law, let's say I have powers, the only law I would ever conceive with regards to abortion is protecting it. That's the only law where men would like that. So again, I'm long-winded, but yet you were completely right. It's up to conservatives to disavow the current Republican platform, to go back to as close to an older platform that they did run, closer towards classical liberalism, I would say, or even dare I say, South Park Republicans, which are a very interesting subset of people, no less. And those people are out there too, very interesting people. But it's up to them to do that. And yeah, again, I hold this very hypocritical view. It's very interesting. There are people like me out there. Yeah, the Conservative Party, as it is right now, is anti-this, anti-that. The people before it, I can't believe they're in that echo chamber and lying to themselves worse, and you. The party is anti-that. But yeah, there aren't people who are, but it's up to them. It's up to us to kick those people out of power, to make our voices heard, and to cross party lines as much as possible with Democrats who very much so want to see a better country, and it's very frustrating. And it's interesting, as a previous Trump 2016 voter, the change and then how wrong I was to a degree. Just
FYI, Trump just said yesterday that he wants to remove term limits.
And look, lo and behold, look at that. Look at Xi Jinping amending the Constitution in 2018, 2019 to allow for that. That's scary. On top of the court decision, I don't have the specific name, but the one where he gave immunity after his case. I mean, the cases he has now, they're going to be thrown out. You can't prosecute them. And
he just said in order to remove the deep state, he needs to get rid of term limits on Congress. And that by getting rid of term limits on Congress, he can remove the deep state.
And that's scary. And it's very weird saying this. It's scary because let's say no, Project 2025 isn't going to, no. Project 47, it's all the same thing. Let's not lie to ourselves as conservatives. Like, come on.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely.
I might have missed this, and I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you say you did vote for Trump in this past election, or you did not?
No. I'll just reconfirm, case I voted for Trump and voted red 2016, around that time frame. Once the election that time frame was over, 18, 19, I was starting to get disillusioned. I started voting more blue, and then for Biden the next election, and I voted Harris in this upcoming election.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. But my family is very hardline conservative. We're talking they got the first day off of school for hunting, and my mom went hunting. It was very, very interesting growing up in upstate New York and then in the city. So but on that first point, conservatives are that, but there's a large majority that aren't, that need to speak up. I guess going down the next point, minors deserve gender-affirming care. See, this is a topic that even as a guy, I'm knowledgeable in the sense that I feel like I am, regardless of what friends I have, what research I've done on news. It's very hard because I feel like that topic at the end of the day goes to the personal human part of it. Is this is this person's individual view, blah blah blah. But at the same time, with abortion, it's a human issue. It's that kind of issue that again correlates into bodily autonomy, which is again a concept that a lot of
I
Yeah.
really hate to do this. And I only have like a minute because I have to go to physical therapy afterwards. Something that really itches my butt. I'm sorry, I have to call you out on it. You want to keep the title conservative for a reason, and I just don't understand it. Because if you're just describing then progressive values, but say, well, I'm still a conservative though because I told myself that I'm a conservative, you don't make any sense. Like the things that you've described are progressive values then. So
Yeah,
you're not,
they are.
you're maybe centrist then, I don't know, and that's okay. We can have a conversation like where you align yourself politically, but
right.
being anti-gay marriage, for example, is innately a conservative value that
Yes.
cannot exist, that it cannot coexist. You cannot be a conservative progressive. That's so incredibly wrong. So if we are describing conservative values on the political spectrum, which includes anti-abortion, anti-LGBTQ, etc., and you align yourself with, that means you're conservative. If you don't align yourself with, you're not a conservative. And I just really needed to get that straight because
Yeah.
I hate when people do it.
I appreciate yeah. I would say my response to that is you specifically said there's a political spectrum. So it's amazing in America that we are able to have a wide variety of views at different degrees, and that's what makes America amazing. You know,
I
I
disagree.
do very much so disagree with. I'm sorry. Oh, you disagree?
I disagree. I think, having a wide variety of views has sort of led to, like slavery and.
You're right, and that's also the best part too, because we can view those people and we can go, aha, we found the racist. Let's fuck those people up. That's why I'm saying it's a good thing. But
I'm gonna be honest. I'd rather the racists be too scared to be racist. If you want me to be for real,
I would like that too. The world would be 150% smoother because when some people just don't, yeah.
Except that the country said, we found the racists, let's put them in office.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's the majority. But just to quickly go back on your response, Chiara, I disagree. I'm sorry?
It's Kiara.
Kiara, I apologize. Kiara, I do disagree with the prospect or your view that conservatives can't be conservatives and hold these progressive views. And there are people like us out there. It's very weird. It's very anti a lot, and I understand it too. It was something that I was struggling with when
Then you're a centrist, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not. I just don't understand why you want to hold a title if you don't align with the title. If I call myself a communist, for example, but I believe in if I call myself a communist, but I believe in capitalist values and I align myself with capitalism,
Exactly, yes.
I cannot be a communism like a communist. It just doesn't. It doesn't work like that.
I can afford you some views that I do have that would be considered more conservative than others, if you would like. That would maybe.
Yes, but it makes you centrist then. Okay, I said, if you align.
You asked for views, so I can give you some more hardline conservative views if you like. For instance, I'm a huge, massive proponent of gun rights, regardless of and understanding the political climate of school shootings. And I will also say I don't believe the.
Hold on, guys. Let's let him finish, please.
Yeah. Yes. And I like that we're all being respectful. At least I hope we are. But I'd say another view maybe that would sway you, Kiara, would be the point on minors deserve gender. That is one I disagree with. I understand the parlance of our times, all that, but as a minor, minors are very impressionable. They do bring out they do take the world in with them, and kids these days are very smart. They are amazing, smart individuals, and they do get information on their own. True, but I would say I would say give them more time.
I will let you guys debate the whole thing now because obviously that's Lainey, that's Javon, that's Alina, but I gotta go, so I'm just gonna say this: what you have described is not innate to conservative values. Like you can, for example, being pro-gun, being pro-2A can be absolutely in alignment with communists or leftists in general. So you have not necessarily given me something that makes you a hardcore conservative. And like I said, in the political spectrum, you might end up being not a leftist, but like a centrist or whatever. But saying that conservatives are pro-LGBTQ when it's an innate value of the Conservative Party to be anti-LGBTQ doesn't make any sense to me. But I gotta go now.
I understand that. And that's, I guess the only thing is there are people who do have those views like us in the Conservative Party who do skew on that farther spectrum. I mean, the 2A is very new now. A lot of Democrats are supporting this, the guns, like gays for guns. That's fucking mint. That's awesome. And I'm sorry, I've noticed your hand is up.
Remember pew
I'll finish up.
Remember TikTok language.
But I know I'm a guy who says, if I want to hunt with a 30-06, hell yeah. But if I want to go to the range with a 30-round mag, fully automatic, and that should not be restricted to me. I do believe that's part of the two, and I would say that's part of the more extreme view.
Yeah, the only president recently who has banned any gone against 2A at all was Trump with the bump stock ban, which was then shut down by the Supreme Court, was said to be unconstitutional.
Very interesting.
So again, your idea of what's a leftist or a right value when it comes to 2A. There's a lot of nuance within that.
Yeah, I agree.
So with gender affirming care for minors, I'm gonna guess that you haven't done a lot of research on it, but you've heard a lot of opinions about it. Am I correct in that?
I would say I have done some research. I'll give you a baseline. I looked Al Jazeera, Fox News, AP. I try to go from
those are just news sources. Those are basically opinions, right? I mean, especially when it comes to Fox.
So Vox is definitely a lot more left leaning. I would say they've been.
Oh, you mean Vox? VOX?
Yes, I do get Fox. They're very. I did say Fox. Yes, they're very right. I do so purposefully so that I can see the differences in writing. It's very important.
But have you looked at any scientific data, like research?
Scientific data? No, I have not. I absolutely welcome papers, etc. So I guess in that meantime, my basic view is just
Google Scholar's your friends.
Yes. So as minors can't consent, I just think that minors deserving gender affirming care.
Minors can consent. Minors can consent to medical care with the assistance of a parent.
Okay, and if that's the case, I would say, are they conscious and understanding of these very complex issues? I mean,
children are medically capable of making medical decisions with the help of a parent as young as 7 years old.
There are papers to. I personally would welcome papers on that. I personally do think that I think that's a little too early. I think maybe when they're in teenage years.
They're not taking any medication at the age of 7. I'm just saying that in general.
They're able to.
Yes.
So really quickly.
Kids need medical care, a variety of medical care throughout their lives.
I also want to just point something out real quick, Laney. Sorry, not to interrupt. I just want to point something out. Even if we're under the predication that like minors can't consent to medical care, that would still put us in the regards of like their parents are who consent to the medical care. So like you can't separate gender affirming care from other medical care because you're not going to be able to provide a symmetry breaker for why these things wouldn't coincide. There's plenty of medical care that if a kid needs to take is going to be, for example, not that I believe gender affirming care is this, but is going to be like permanent and have permanent side effects for their body or things like that are going to permanently change things about them. Like there is no symmetry breaker here between other medical care and gender affirming care. So if we allow parents to provide other forms of medical care, we need to also allow them to provide gender affirming care. I don't think the government should be coming in and telling parents what they can and can't, what medical care they can and can't give to their kids. I think that's just fucking crazy.
I want to give you some perspective, okay, on like the amount of the population that is being targeted here and being made to believe there's this big wide epidemic. It is completely false. Okay, like it is really a tiny portion of the population. And that this form of healthcare is extremely regulated, right? It is extremely gate-kept to the detriment of the patient sometimes. Like and it is a very prolonged process. Okay, so I want you to imagine a kid who is experiencing some sort of incongruence between their physical phenotypes and their neurological sense of who they are, right? So they're with regard to their gender. So they might express it in a lot of different ways because they may not have like, a very thorough understanding of the language yet. So
well,
they might,
and the topics at hand, maybe.
Yeah, so it would come out as like, someone who has been treated as a boy, growing up, and they're 6 or 7 years old, and they start to express like, and it could be even earlier. Like I knew that I wasn't a boy when I was 4 years old in 1979. I had no language to express that. All I knew was that when I expressed my femininity, it was shut down, both verbally and physically. Right? I grew up in a Southern Baptist household. In
May
the
I just
80s.
interrupt real quick? A quick question.
Real quick before you do, I just want to say thank you,
first-
Josie, and thank you, Faith, for the Cash App. So thank you, Josie, and thank you, Faith. All right, go ahead, you guys.
I just want to quickly ask, what's your name, and then how old are you? About you said 70.
I'm
Just
49.
if that's okay.
I'm
sorry?
49. I'm 49, and my name is Lainey. My pronouns are they and she. Lainey, Lainey.
Lainey, and you said they and she?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm non-binary
I'm sorry.
trans femme. So,
Right.
So I didn't have that kind of, ability to express who I was. In fact, it was very directly,
Oppressive.
repressed. Yeah. And so, through that indoctrination into being cis, it took me a very long time to come to terms with that and to finally like realize what was going on, the discomfort that I'd had my entire life, especially once puberty hit, which was like torture for me. And because I was not able to receive the care that I needed, there were many things that I had to do as an adult to rectify that. Like I am still in the process of, right? Like, facial hair removal is an extremely expensive and undescribably painful process that takes years, going, 30 minutes to an hour at a time to remove each hair by electrolysis, one at a time. Where they inject a needle into the follicle, zap it, and then pluck it out. It is, I hate it. I hate it so much. But I would not have had to do that where I had a medical remedy as a minor. Right. I did not have that ability because no one understood what it was and nobody cared to understand what it is. This is a.
Sorry, Lainey. I just wanted to, because Lainey, what you said is really reminiscent of a lot of things conservatives say. Look at how conservatives are like, well, we don't want trans people in sports because they have an advantage, and then in the same breath we'll go, but they shouldn't be able to receive gender-affirming care when they're before the advantage. That would cut the advantage out. Like it's just the dichotomy of the right is that of I do not care and I'm not going to care.
And we don't want a solution. We just want to denigrate this tiny population of people.
Can I add another perspective when Lainey's finished?
Yeah. So I just want to say, like, so what happens in now, if you have a parent who listens to their child and who has, like a little bit of an understanding of what being trans is, or maybe not any at all. There are many conservative parents who have realized that they were making a mistake when they were shutting their kid down, who was expressing gender incongruence, and eventually came to terms with realizing they were harming their kid. And so if you're listening, or if you come to realize it after not listening at first, you take your kid where? What is the first thing you do? Do you go get hormones if they're 7 or 8 years old? No. Like, you go and you get them a therapist, and you let them talk about it. Let them, and the therapist is not going to tell you, yes, they're trans, no, they're not. My therapist never told me. I was an adult. She never said, yeah, I think you're trans. That's not how it works. No, nobody tells someone that they're trans or not. You can't make someone trans or not.
Wait, you guys wanna? Can I tell you guys something funny that just happened?
Yeah.
Someone on YouTube commented in my chat and said, every one of these left tilt streams have a strict policy about restricting speech where moderators pop up to enforce the totalitarianism with excuses. How open is discussion? I responded, restrict these nuts, and muted them for 24 hours.
Yeah, and no speech is being restricted here. That's if people are paying attention.
No, we're having and listen, like if the guest is like going to be, polite and ask questions and listen, like these are kind of conversations we want to have.
The only time I'm gonna get full tilt on somebody is there's like three ways this is gonna happen, right? Where you're gonna get Jovan's little spicy side because he's annoyed. One, if someone refuses to engage constructively in the conversation. So like the one guy that was in here that asked me my definition and then told me point blank, I was not paying attention. I did not listen to what you said. So clearly you're not here to have a constructive dialogue piece. Two, yes, I'm going to interrupt you if I know where your line of questioning is going. Like, can we just I'm sorry, I don't have time, and I'm not gonna listen to 20 things and then try to pick. If you say something, I'm pinning it down now. So that, and then three, I just match energies. So Cop's Corner is in here. The energy is being matched. This is the energy he's given. I've given the energy back. If you come in here with some salt, you getting some salt. But speaking of that conservative guy, somebody in my Discord sent a thing. Oh my God, where did they put it? Where he literally commented in the space, enjoy losing your rights. They're just saying the quiet part out loud. Here it is. He said, oh, wow, enjoy your freedoms while it lasts. So we're correct. They're trying to take freedom from people. They just don't want to admit it until,
I think, see, that's where I'm going to disagree to a degree. As it stands right now, the Republicans that I think I said before have done what I've said this to many of my friends. They had the time to incubate and reformulate themselves when Democrats themselves years ago said there's a schism in the conservative party. This was around 18-19 COVID, and then gained more traction, obviously, with Trump's ham-fisted, haphazard response. And I think that there will be just enough, just a taint hairs enough guardrail of checks and balances to not have some, or a majority at least, hopefully, of policies that were or might not be outlined in Project 47 or Project 2025. I do think some stuff will absolutely get done, because the fact is Trump will be using executive orders up the ass. He did.
Well, he's openly said he wants to do most of the things that are in Project 2025 anyway. Even if you want to go under the predication that Trump has no idea about Project 2025, right? It's not like his campaign advisor was making ads for Project 2025. It's not like he spoke at the Heritage Foundation and said, you guys are going to make the next, you guys are going to make my next administration. You're going to make the rules for that. It's not like he
even
implemented
called it a mandate, which is on the title, the title.
Yeah.
It's also not like he implemented 50% of their other policies, which was when they had their Project 2017, sorry. It's not like he did all that. This idea, even if he doesn't know what they're talking about, he still wants to do everything that they're claiming.
Yeah, conservatives have they have their head in their sand. They don't know anything about they do. It's just, again, you're just playing the long game. And that's what Democrats need to do at this point. And just to quickly go back, I just think that we won't see as much of the very heavier legislation passed down. I'm being very optimistic, I will admit that, but I don't think we will see that. But I do think that it's, again, up to the majority of Americans from here on out, conservatives and Democrats, to really take some take some action.
Yeah, but I don't know what the question becomes, what action is going to be taken, right? At this point, when we're looking at what's going on in the country, Trump and the Republicans are trying to consolidate power into the executive branch. They're trying to make it so that the checks and balances that we have lovingly had in this country for so long are non-existent, and the executive branch can
succeed.
They 100%. I mean, they've been able to consolidate power in terms of stripping, granting presidents more immunity than they've ever had in the fucking past. And then when we look at this legislation, or when we look at currently, Republicans, the GOP, have been trying to restrict the rights of queer people across the country. They don't want them to adopt. They don't want them to be able to get married. They don't want them to be able to have medical care, even adults. They want to restrict what media can be shown to kids if it's got LGBTQ people in it. It is a when one of the key tenets of just really quickly, I just want to say one of the key tenets of fascism is picking out an enemy and using that enemy to try to drive power into your camp. And they've been doing this with LGBTQ people. They've been doing this with migrants. Like, it's just the same conservative playbook that's always existed.
World War II, same thing, different hat.
Actually, they also one of their first targets was the Institute of Sexual Research, which was for the queer and trans community. The pictures of the books burning that you always see of the brown shirts burning books, that was from that institute. Yeah, and we were also, the ones wearing pink triangles rather than gold stars.
This is why whenever someone's like, oh, all this LGB stuff just started recently, I'm like, no, it's just all the research we had on it was burned. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that these things were never here. They've always been here. It's just, again, people are given the platforms. Again, I say this reluctantly in a way, but with endearing qualities. It's what makes America cool, great in a way, because we can have those views. And again, it goes back to, unfortunately, people are going to have these racist views, but thankfully we can isolate them and fight them.
Hang on. Look up Lily Elba. Lily, Lili, I believe. ELBE.
If you're talking, we can barely hear you, friend.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay. This is already happening. I'm not sure what people think is going on. I mentioned I live in a red state. I live in Kentucky. They passed a bill not too long ago, Senate Bill 150. It prohibits gender-affirming health care in Kentucky for people under the age of 18, and it bans healthcare professionals from even social transitioning. So you cannot ask, teachers do not have to use the pronouns that the children want to be called because of this fear mongering and that it's going to turn everybody trans or gay or whatever. The writing's on the wall. It's already being done. It's already happening in my red state. There's no reason for me to believe that this will not go nationally. I regret not speaking up about this sooner or louder. I'm a mental health therapist. This is very, very detrimental to children's mental health. If you cannot affirm them as a person and who they think they are, it is very damaging. Kids are unaliving themselves because people want to go out, not to whatever you want to do with your AR, because they want to go out in the fields and shoot ARs. Meanwhile, kids are unaliving themselves because of this. This is a very real thing that they feel. It is the core of their identity, and it is being squashed because of fear mongering. And
so,
sorry,
no, you're totally okay. Before we move forward, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. Remember, I do morning lives every morning at 8 a.m. unless I'm not here, but you should see me live every morning at 8 a.m. If you support the live and you want me to continue doing morning discussions where I have open panels and people can come in, remember the tip jar is there. We're almost 1/3 of the way to our tip goal. Cash App and Venmo are in bio. Follow me on all the platforms, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. If you want a better experience, at the end of the stream today, we're going to choose our topic for tomorrow. So I'm going to let chat choose the topic we do for tomorrow's discussion panel. If you are a member on my YouTube, my newest videos, there's 2 videos up for tier 2 members. Those get released to the public tomorrow in 2 days on the 10th, but right now they're live for members today. They'll be live, and 2 more videos will go live for tier 2 members tomorrow. I think that's all the housekeeping. You guys can continue.
If I could get back to the process of gender affirming care for minors, just because I saw a few people in the chat wanted me to finish that. So, in the early stages, what a therapist would be looking for, and this goes for for at any age, they're looking for insistence, consistence, and persistence, right? And this is according to the standards of care. And they're not looking, they're looking to make sure that it's not just a phase, that it's not just a kid who is a boy who has three sisters and feels like he's not getting enough attention. Like those are the things that they're going to try to make sure to eliminate, right? And so you will see, and in the early stages, a lot of kids who start therapy for gender incongruence and then end up desisting because it is not insistent, consistent, and persistent, right? Now, if it continues in that direction, though, then they might try early on as well, like see like if we allow them to dress how they want, to try out a different name and pronouns, see if that feels right. If it doesn't feel right, they can desist, and no harm done. And so that's how it would progress for until the child reaches Tanner stage 2 of puberty, which is going to happen sometime between around 10 to 12 years old.
Yeah.
And once they reach that stage, that's when they would be able to have the option for puberty blockers. And that would only be for kids that are experiencing all of those three things that we talked about, as well as a distress over the physical changes, right? If physical changes starting to happen and that causes a distress, then they would receive a gender dysphoria diagnosis. And now with this one, out of 300,000 kids that are experiencing an incongruence that might consider themselves trans or non-binary, 40,000. It's 42,167, according to Williams Institute, that actually got a gender dysphoria diagnosis. Now, even that does not necessarily mean that they're going to be medicated, right? So the ones that at the number of actual from the same year trans minors that went on puberty blockers, out of 42,000 that got a gender dysphoria diagnosis, was only 1,390 in the entire country. 1,390. That's what all this hubbub is about. And so then they take that for a year to 2 years to give them more time. That's literally all that's for, is to give them more time to not start puberty and have like changes that are there's a lot you have to do, like the facial hair removal, chest surgeries, things like that. So those are the things that are not reversible once they get started. Now, if they desist at that point, they would go back to their natal puberty, right as rain. If they decide at the end of that year to 2 years, this is still very consistent, then along with their parents, they can decide to go on cross-sex hormones. And that would be at the ages of like 15, 16. Right? Perhaps 14, around 14, but rarely. And so these numbers are extremely tiny because it is whittled down to the point where they want to make sure that regret rate is as low as possible. And when it comes to stuff like this, and as far as surgeries go, those are very low. Typically, it's a trans masculine person receiving chest surgery. The vast majority of the time, and that's 282 a year. In comparison, cisgender boys who develop breast tissue, it's a disorder called gynecomastia, 2,833. So 10 times as many cis boys got the same procedure for the same reason, because they were getting gender dysphoria because they grew boobs and they're boys. Same thing, nobody cares about that. And on the other side, cisgender girls who got breast augmentations under the age of 18. And again, this is all going to be around the age of 16, 17, 18. Or 16 and 17. That is 3,233. Purely cosmetic, nobody cares. And so the aggregate regret rate for any of this medical intervention is 0.3 to 1% because it is so highly get capped. It is one of the lowest regret rates in all of medicine.
Really quickly, I have to just say, because somebody asked, I am not posting to Patreon anymore. If you still want to subscribe to my Patreon to like financially support me, you can. But all of my content is going to be on my YouTube memberships now. I just find YouTube memberships to be an easier system to work with than Patreon. The prices are the same, so I kept the prices the same. So if you want to switch your membership over to YouTube membership as opposed to Patreon, I would do that. If you can't find the membership button, usually you got to do it from a browser, or I can send you a direct link if you can't find it. But I just find Patreon to be too much of it. Patreon's upload system is a pain in the ass, and it takes fucking forever. And it's just easier for me it's easier to do YouTube. So I'm just migrating over to YouTube, but the Patreon will still be there if you want to go watch all the old content, or if you want to just use it to like financially support me, you can. Go ahead, guys.
All right.
And I do want to just one last thing. The regret rate that is never spoken about is, and I don't even think it's ever been surveyed, but I can tell you every single of the thousands of trans people that I've met in real life and online, every single one of us wishes we could have started sooner.
Also, Kristen, I did see the Venmo. I'm not reading that out loud though. Psychopath. Go ahead, guys.
So yeah, so again, I'm doing my own. So I was listening. So someone is on the in chat. Hey, you're still saying, yeah, I'm here the whole time. So, it's very interesting numbers that you do put up. So one of the points that you brought up, this care was beginning at the Tanner stage 2 RAR Sapphire said ACAB. Hey, that's a different topic for another day. But definitely get my view on that if you want RAR.
It didn't go unnoticed by the chat.
Does tomorrow's topic need to be the abolition of police and prisons? Do I need to bring my A game?
See, that would be a fun topic.
Bring my A game topic? That's my A game topic, bro.
To quickly go back, I think that. So you said at around Tanner stage 2, which is around the ages of 14, 15-ish, if I'm not wrong.
No. Tanner stage 2 is about 10 to 12, 13, around there. It, varies for kids. My kid is 11, and he's just starting to get like a little bit of peach fuzz on the upper lip, that kind of thing.
Okay.
When it's like just the initial the signs are starting to show, that is typically when that distress is going to come for trans individuals.
And
definitely did for me.
And then around that time is when I'm assuming at this point you're doing research, but you're also having that introspection within yourself with regards to the environment around you, obviously, if I'm not mistaken, or...
I'm not following what you mean.
So with regards to the topic, because this topic actually has been going on for a hot minute, which is cool. The minors deserve gender-affirming care. So you're on the school of thought, like in your personal experience, it was Tanner stage 2, that early on, you were, through your introspection, that's what you were believing. This is not me, this is what I feel, who I am, etc. And
yeah, well, see, I grew up in a different time, as I explained, right?
Yeah,
I grew up in a time when I didn't know that trans people existed, and my expression of myself, like just acting like this, like the way that I am, was very intentionally repressed, oppressed in me, by my family, by my community, etc. Right? I was called a girl until I agreed with them. You know what I mean?
To say was Southern Baptist, and
so I did not have that ability to understand what was happening to me. I was not allowed therapy to talk about it. I grew up in a place where nobody goes to therapy because that's for crazy people, you know what I mean? And nobody's willing to admit that they have mental issues. So, you just pray it away, pray the gay away, pray it all away, right? And but what I would do every night was pray that I would wake up as a girl. That's what I would do, because that was my only solution that was allowed to me. So, but I can say that, like, you know, when those physical changes start, that is a lot of times when people will even start to realize, and so they end up, it's too late to start puberty blockers. Because by the time you've gone through the therapy process and all of that stuff, you'll be 14 or 15, and puberty's already happened, you know. So they would just go directly to cross-sex hormones at that point. So no changing. You know, medications, the hormones themselves would ever be started before, you know, that point, right? You know, around 14, 15, 16.
So you would say, so, okay, so let me just get this one straight here. Based off of my views here, you were saying before this point, it's okay for the minor to, say, dress up this way, to do their own research, which they should do. Obviously, it's important to do.
Yeah, of course. The parents are going to be involved. They're going to have their GP, their endocrinologist, their therapist, you know, possibly a psychologist.
And that's what I would want, because my worry as a conservative is that at some ages it gets to a point where I just don't think they're that developed, and they need too much outside influence where it might influence them too much.
That's the problem, because people are not listening to doctors or mental health therapists. They're forming their own opinions. And I commend Lainey for speaking about her experiences, because that's what we're forced to do today. But these conversations should never be happening. It is up to the doctors, the mental health professionals, psychiatrists, people that understand this and know the detrimental effects. I commend you, cops, for coming on here and talking about it, but we shouldn't have to have these conversations.
Also, really quickly, guys, I do have the poll up for tomorrow's stream on TikTok. So if you go right now to click on the poll, tomorrow's stream, we can either do abolition of police and prisons, systemic racism, capitalism versus communism, or Jovan's choice, where I choose. You have 5 minutes, so go vote now. And tomorrow we'll do our panel tomorrow with whatever you guys decide. It is the end of Morning Live. So I want to just allow you guys to just give some final thoughts, but it is the end of Morning Lives. If you're leaving the live now, go to NORAD's live. Let's go raid NORAD's over on TikTok if you're leaving the TikTok live. But go ahead, guys, give final thoughts, and then we're gonna end the live.
I guess I'll do it real quick. I very much so enjoyed being a part of here. It sucks that the other conservatives were basically idiots. They didn't know how to debate. They couldn't even bring stuff up. I will say, for the systemic racism thing, as a conservative, to all the conservatives watching, please look up Robert Moses in New York City and tell me tell me you know what you're talking about. Someone who's a slut for the subway and has explored places they've probably never been underground. Tell me systemic racism doesn't exist. Anyway. As a conservative,
what conservative views do you hold, bro?
Do you understand that systemic racism exists?
I don't think you know what conservative means, dog.
If all it is 2A, get over here. The leftists love it.
And this is the big thing, because a part of it is for me to understand more and more, because I still consider myself a conservative, you know, and I'm around that all the time. So, and even as a 30-year-old, I'm exploring through all that, because unfortunately, people who are like in the middle, they're like seen as fence sitters. They're not even given the time of day. So it's feel like I'm forced to pick a position either way, even though, as it said. But anyway, I feel like I said my piece. I definitely will be back. I think everyone here is fantastic. I hope to be back on as well to talk, even as a moderate, if possible, or maybe to bring in some of the conservatives who don't know what the hell they're talking about. So anyway,
I
love it.
No problem. Also, it seems like systemic racism is winning the poll, so that will be the topic tomorrow, most likely. Lainey, if you want to say any final thoughts on the topic.
Corner, I really appreciate that you came in not with the assumption that you knew everything about a topic that is very important to me, that you respected my understanding of the process as someone who's been through it, rather than attempting to tell me what it is. And so you seem to be a curious person and an empathetic person, and so I appreciate you coming in with that energy. Yeah, I hope to see you back here when we do the police and prisons topic, because
that'll be very interesting.
I would encourage you in the meantime to read some Angela Davis prior to that. Yeah. Do you remember the name of the book that I'm thinking of?
She has
Siobhan?
multiple, so it just depends on which one you're talking about.
Yeah, I think it's called On Police and Prisons or something like that.
That's a really good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
So
That's a good place to start.
Very left-leaning, I can tell already. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Our Prisons Obsolete. I like Our Prisons Obsolete. That's
the one. That's the one. Our Prisons Obsolete. That's what I was trying to come up with.
W.V. Du Bois. Who's that woman? Simone de Beauvoir, or whoever that's who I initially started. When I was hardline conservative, that's how I started my because I was reading out loud, I was watching Loud with Crowder, and he brought up the Simone de Beauvoir, her book, The Second Sex. So he's bringing that up. So let me read it for myself at the end of the day and see why is he. So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm talking a little too much, but it's
that's good. Like, I love a reader, I do, and so I think that you're well on your way to being a full-on commie leftist.
No,
Stick around.
I will disagree. I love capitalism. I think that would be a very interesting topic to debate with y'all on that. That one I do have a little more nuanced knowledge in. I went to school for accounting. I went through finance, so I also got to see both sides of these worlds in different ways. Yeah. So
So we got some things to get into the meat of. So
we do.
Well,
so
systemic racism won. So tomorrow that'll be the topic. HH, do you want to give any final thoughts really quickly before I end?
I do. It'll be very quick. I wanted to say thank you. I've been hiding in the chat. This is my only second live I've hopped on, so I'm sorry if you can't hear me. But I've seen Lainey get so much hate on this app, and she is the face and the voice of people who do not have a voice. Please, please, please make your voice stronger and louder to support people like Lainey and like me from the LGBTQIA community, like the kids that are struggling with the same issues that Lainey did when she was growing up. I thank you all for being here. I thank you so much for having me on this panel. I would just challenge people to do one action step today in making your voice louder. I'm going to try to do the same. I feel bad that I haven't before today. So thank you.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you for joining the stream. Like I said, if you're on TikTok, head over to NORAD stream. Go raid NORADs for me. Shout out TikTok. You guys have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow, where we will be discussing systemic racism and a whole lot of other things. Mostly probably how white women failed black women in the most recent election. So join us tomorrow for that conversation, and we'll see you guys there. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. YouTube, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for chatting. Same deal, YouTube, same deal. We will see you tomorrow for more morning discussions, and hopefully I'll see you tonight as well for our normal evening discussions and evening debates. So YouTube, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. See you later.